was going to pay you.
Yes, beforehand.
Your Honor, we hadn't discussed that.
Now, is he on the road to unemployment?
Why would your boss pay for your car to be fixed?
Because he needed me as a technician.
Needing you, he didn't. Did you a favor, he did.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Greg Cranbule is suing his former employee and family friend, 24-year-old Kenny Hull, for unpaid loans to have his transmission fixed and a down payment on a car.
Order. All rise. It's case number 328 on the calendar, the matter of Cranbule versus Hull.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Cranbule, you know the defendant, according to what I've read, for a very long time, since childhood.
More or less, since I moved into the state that he lived in when I was around 6 or 7 years old.
So you know him
known him since.
Since. Okay. Your lawsuit is for 2 unpaid loans that were related to his automobile.
Correct.
His defense is complicated by the fact that he also, at some point, started to work for you.
Correct.
As part of your team.
Relations, so I'm the manager of it, and he would be a personal alarm technician.
Okay. And when did Mr. Hull start to work for you?
So he actually worked the previous season for me in 2017. So I hired him on January of 2017.
So then he came back to work for you in the summer of 2018.
So yeah,
Winter.
you have an off season that he wouldn't have worked through the winter, and then again coming out the next season he would have worked in this season.
What month did he start in this season? In 18?
April 3rd.
April. And when did he have car trouble?
It was like 2 days after we had arrived. The official season didn't start until the second week. April 16th, I believe, is the official start date. We came out a couple weeks early just to kind of...
And this was in Oklahoma?
In Tulsa, Oklahoma, yeah.
Okay. Now, how much money did you make in 2017 working for him?
About $23,000.
And how much did you anticipate making in 2018?
More than that, at least $30,000.
Okay, so you had...
Can I interject real quick? He did not make that. I'm well aware of all of his year-to-date statements that he gets. It was somewhere closer to $43,000 that he made.
You mean in 2017?
Incorrect.
Okay, so he made certainly enough money to fix his own car.
I would have liked that, but he did not.
Okay. You had car trouble, and this is the second season that you were working. According to the plaintiff, and I somehow think that he is more accurate with how much you made in 2000. A time that you had to work. You can't work unless your car is functioning. You had trouble in April, and what did you do?
My car broke down in April. The transmission had gave out just a few days into the summer. At that point, the car is the only thing to get around to get the job done. I was in a rust box. We had just started the summer. I didn't have money from the previous summer saved up. So at that point...
Why not?
Young, I don't know. Don't know how to learn how to budget, I guess. So at that point, I needed to get my car fixed, and he needed the work, and he needed a person to be getting the job done. So he decided to help me out.
Not he decided. That calls for the operation of his mind. He had to know that something was wrong with your car. Now, either he saw the car break down with no transmission, or you contacted him. Which one was it?
I contacted him.
How did you contact him?
We're actually staying in the same hotel.
So how did you contact him?
I just went over to his room and we had talked.
Okay, well, I'd like you to tell me about the conversation. What you said to him and what he said to you.
I needed a car, and he knew that he needed a person.
No, don't tell me knew. I said to him, the transmission is out on my car. Are you chewing gum?
Mm-hmm.
Get it out.
Thank you.
Oh, just take the tissue. Don't give him the gum. I went to his room and said...
The transmission is broke down. I need a new one, or a new vehicle.
And?
He decided to help me out with the transmission.
No. Decided calls for the operation of his mind. You can't tell me what he said to you. Try to follow what I'm saying to you. I said to him, the transmission went in my car.
Mm-hmm. So I needed another vehicle. I asked if he could help me, and...
No, look at me. I said, can you help me?
Mm-hmm.
And he said...
We can work something out or get... Because I need you as a technician. I need you.
And you said...
Okay. I need... Yeah.
No, I want to know. I want to know how it came about. You had taken the car in for repair?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is a yes. And did they give you a cost to have it fixed?
Yes, it was just around $3,000.
Did you have that amount in your head when you went to see him to tell him? Did you know how much it was going to be?
No.
Okay, so you didn't have a figure with him?
Correct.
So after you spoke with him and he said, I can help you out, then you took the car in to be fixed?
He insisted me in getting a tow truck as well as getting a vehicle to get over there.
So he helped you getting a tow truck?
Mm-hmm.
Did you pick the repair shop?
Yes.
And who took the car to the repair shop? The tow truck and?
Me.
Now the car is fixed. What happened next?
We continue out throughout the summer.
No. Now the car is in there. How are they paid?
Greg was able to give them the money to get the car fixed. That way I can continue working for him.
La, 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 la. Did he use a credit card, cash, wampum? What did he use?
I believe it was a credit card.
Did you use a credit card?
I did.
Did you call the credit card into the company, or did you give it to him?
It broke down.
I'm not there yet. I'll come back to you in a second.
Okay.
Did you give him the credit card over the phone, or did
No,
you
I
give it to him?
personally went in with him to pay in person at the transmission place.
After the car was fixed?
After the car was fixed.
How much was it?
It's $2,966.45.
Now, did you discuss with Mr. Hull how he was going to pay you?
Yes, beforehand.
Yeah. Was that in your hotel room, or?
Yeah, so we were right next door in the hotel rooms, different rooms obviously, and he came to me. This is over like a week and a half. The car broke down on April 4th, and so he took it into one place initially because they offered financing, because I initially told him I don't want anything to do with getting a car. We didn't know what was wrong with it. He just said it's not running. So I said, let's take it down to an auto shop, get a diagnosis. He says, well, I don't have money to tow it. So I said, okay, let's get a tow truck. He said, I don't have money. So I transferred him $100 so that he could pay for a tow truck, and then
How
he
did
took
you
it
do
in.
that?
It was electronically transferred to an app. After I did that, he later told me they've diagnosed it. It's a transmission issue. It's going to cost this amount of money. And I said, okay. And they said they offer financing, but my credit's so bad, I don't know if they'll allow me, so we might have to work something out. And I said, well, let's look at different options. Maybe it's best to just sell the car as is. Maybe you can get a rental car. And I have text messages of me telling this to him.
May I see that?
Yes. So this is on April. Hopefully all of it flows together. I don't know if they're out of order, but
Okay, this just says you're suggesting renting a car. All right.
well,
What
I
else?
had given him money to get a rental car for the time being. So we did it just for 3 days initially, just so that he could be working, because as you stated earlier, it's a lucrative amount of money that you make in a short time. So every day he was missing, he was losing hundreds of dollars not working. So I was just trying to get him back into working
fine.
as quick as possible.
Fine.
And
do you have any text messages that have to do with the
So
payment
when we
of
met
this
in the hotel,
$29.66?
we met a couple of times about it in the hotel. We didn't know the exact amount of how it would be until later. They finally had quoted us, and it changed every time with the mechanics. First it needed this, and then it needed parts.
I don't care about it.
Originally-
It was $29.66.
So we had called it to be an even $3,000, and he was going to pay me $250 from his weekly paychecks every Friday.
Did he do that?
No.
Your Honor, we hadn't discussed that.
Just a second. Did he do that? Well, if he didn't do that,
He attempted to. He came to me the first week. We were moving into the apartments the next week, and so he came to me saying, we might have to start next week. We're moving to the apartments, and I've got to get groceries and different things for the apartment, you know, a rug, and I don't know, whatever. And so it was, you know, I need
so
stuff
he
for the
never,
apartment.
just a second, so he never paid you back this $29.66. What month?
So his car continued to have different issues for...
Month. What month?
His alignment went out in July, I believe. He had to get tires, something...
Did you give him money for that?
No, after a couple of weeks of him making up excuses and that I need to do this and I need groceries and gas and what have you. Initially, he came to me saying his family was going to be evicted from their house in Idaho, and I know them closely. And so I was like, you know what, I'm sick of doing this. It's always going to be next week. It's always going to be next week. Just pay me in your back-end check, because I'm not going to sit here and babysit you the whole summer. I've got bigger fish to fry. And so that's how it turned out to be. The agreement was he was just going to pay me from his back end.
Now, the back-end check came when?
So there's two of them that come, but it's in, there's not like, it's kind of like Thanksgiving. It's just kind of like an area of time. So end of September, early October, and end of October, early November.
Did you get any money in October?
I did.
How much?
It was just around $3,000.
Did you get any money? How much?
So with my regional, I get to see the back ends.
If you don't know...
I know. I do this with 15 other technicians, so I'm just trying to remember his. It was $53.28 or something, and then $51.84 and 44 cents or something. But after the gross of it, I even saw that it was
The two checks that you got.
The two checks, combined or separate?
Combined.
Combined was just about $6,000.
So why didn't you pay him back this money?
I didn't owe him. We had never discussed that. I mean,
Well, it's your car, right? Do you still have the car?
yes.
It's not his car. Your job didn't provide you with a car, correct?
Correct.
You had to use your own car.
Yes.
Why would your boss pay for your car to be fixed?
Because he needed me as a technician to...
Why does he need you? How long have you been working for this company?
About 7 years.
How long have you been working for the company?
2.
So he got along without you. Got along without you before I met you. Going to get along without you now. So we got along without you really well for 5 years. And I guarantee you next year when you're not working for him, he's still going to get along without you. Needing you, he didn't. Did you a favor, he did, when he hired you. Right. So what you're telling me is you had some special skill when he hired you. Is that what you're telling me?
Not special
no,
skill.
No, just a second. Because I read the papers. He hired you in 2017, and he hired you to install alarms. Is that right?
Correct.
I want you to give me the name of the company or companies that you worked for prior to working on plaintiff's team installing alarms.
There isn't any.
Nobody. Who did you work for in 2016?
Nobody.
Nobody. Who did you live off of in 2016?
Parents.
Your parents. Who did you work for and for them?
Delivery driver.
Nothing to do with alarms. So unless you have a really long memory, you have no useful skill in the installation of alarms other than what the plaintiff taught you. So he didn't need you. He could have picked out anybody who drove a car and taught them how to install an alarm. So he didn't need you. But this $29.66 is not the only amount of money you invested in your old friend from the time you were 6 years old.
Unfortunately, no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What'd you send him $1,450 for, sir?
He helped me out in the past with the vehicle, and I wanted to return the favor and be nice. And like I said before, we never discussed any payback or whatever.
Useless.
That's a good word.
Useless.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Greg Cranbule says former employee and family friend Kenny Hull owes for loans to have his transmission fixed and a down payment on a car.
Now, when was the next time you made an investment in him?
It would have been September 27th.
Of this year?
Correct.
And the car died?
It was, according to him, in non-working condition. He had gotten home somehow, but it was...
Was his work session over with you?
As far as Oklahoma, yes. He was done with the season.
Any place?
He wanted to go. He was always broke. So I was trying to figure out how to team him up with another manager to work in Idaho, but that pretty much fell through, and that manager was fired.
Tell me what happened in September.
So he had just gone home, had barely made it, according to him, and he wanted to continue working. And he said, hey, I'm so sick of this car. It's costing me so much money. I could have bought a brand new car for the price I put into it. And I should have said that I put into it. But he said, I'm car shopping I've got a friend who's going to get me a great deal on a car. I can reliably work for you, and, you know, we don't have to keep doing fixes. And I said, that's a good idea. I think it's a little early. I told him I want you to wait till you sell your car so that you don't have 2 cars. And so he said, well, I'm putting it on Craigslist right now, and I've got a couple of good looks at it. And so I plan on selling that car and using it for a down payment. Well, he asked me for the down payment, but he was going to pay down the amount because his credit's so bad that it was going to be a high interest rate.
How much did he ask you for?
He asked me for $3,000. I can't transfer that much, or the app doesn't allow you to transfer that much, as I found out, because after we went through all of our stuff of how he was going to pay me back, I tried to send
How did
him
he say he was going to pay you back?
through his back end. And so knowing how much he made, he definitely had the capability of paying it back. It wasn't a question if he had the funds coming. I just don't know what he did with it. But as far as the money that I was able, said, Air, you can't transfer that amount of money. So then I went back, said, okay, well, let me see if it'll let me send $2,500, and I did that. And then I sent another one right after of $200 to try and see up until the limit of how much it would let me transfer. And after that, it wouldn't let me do any more.
Did he pay you back any money?
He did.
How much did he pay you back?
$1,450, which I was not happy about.
When?
The exact date. So the first week of October would have been October 3rd.
What'd you send him $1,450 for, sir?
He helped me out in the past with the vehicle, and I wanted to return the favor and be nice. And like I said before, we never discussed any payback or whatever.
Useless.
That's a good word.
Useless.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
The barter was to be paid back at $80 an hour, which includes gratuity.
Yes.
Well, how many massages did she give you?
30.
So
I don't have any money to pay it. I had to close my business, and I don't...
get a job.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Greg Cranbule says former employee and family friend Kenny Hull owes for loans to have his transmission fixed and a down payment on a car.
What'd you send him $1,450 for, sir?
He helped me out in the past with the vehicle, and I want to pay back whatever.
Useless.
That's a good word.
Useless. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $42.16. We're finished. Thank you.
Do I not get any of my rental that I paid for him for my rental?
No, $42.16.
Parties are excused.
I'm very pleased. She's my hero. Love her.
I was one of the better technicians. I scored like second in, we had competitions throughout the whole company. I got second out of the company.
Oh, I bet he said that. I mean, he was great when he wasn't complaining, which was 1% of the time.
And he needed me because I get the job done. I'm quick and efficient.
But I have 15 other guys. I didn't need him by any means.
But as far as him taking me here is ridiculous, so.
I don't want to see him, talk to him.
He's no longer my friend.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hardy versus Denny. Step forward.
Richard Hardy is suing his former masseuse, Anita Denny, for an unpaid business loan.
Miss Denny, I'm going to start with you. You are a massage therapist, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the plaintiff was a client of yours, as was his wife.
Only him.
Only him. You
Yes.
never massaged his wife.
Right.
When did he give you money to start your own business?
August is when I opened the doors in 2014.
And how much money did he give you?
$6,000 in total.
And he gave you this money without any interest.
Correct.
And you paid him back some of the money.
Some of it.
How much money did you pay?
$2,512.
And when was her last payment to you?
Or January 2018.
How much did she give you?
$80.
In check or cash?
Cash.
She saw you in person.
No, her brother did.
What's your brother's name?
Richard?
Do you give Richard $80 to give to the plaintiff?
Yes, actually, I would put him in an envelope and he would ride down the street because he lives down the street and would deliver it for
But
me.
in January, Richard made the payment.
For me.
Okay, so you owe him $3,488. Why are we here?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So you owe him $3,488. Why are we here?
Well, within the contract that we signed on the 4th, do you have a copy of that?
No, I don't have a copy of
The
anything.
4th clause says
I'd like to
that
see the contract.
the 4th clause says once borrower is stable, profitable, and
May I-
sustainable.
May I see it, please? Well, the principal amount was $5,000, not $6,000.
There was an additional $1,000 that we did not write up a new contract.
I'm not taking that. I have a written contract for $5,000.
Okay.
Was it your agreement with back in barter and some was to be paid back in cash?
Yes.
That's what it says here.
Yes.
And the barter was to be paid back at $80 an hour, which includes gratuity.
Yes.
Well, how many massages did she give you?
30.
Is that correct?
I don't have a number on it, but it does
Fine.
sound about right.
30 times. So it's $2,400 in massages. And how much cash did she actually give you?
$512 was cash. The rest was all massages.
And that includes the $80.
Yes.
So then we have a different figure. That altogether comes to $2,912. $2,088 is what's left on the $5,000 loan. So
I don't have any money to pay it. I had to close my business.
Okay.
And I don't
get a
have
job. $2,088. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. They step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
There was little misunderstanding with the contract.
Well, I think it was fair, considering everything.
Once I become stable, prosperous, and sustainable
And she never became sustainable and profitable to any point.
is when I would be paying back.
If you look at the contract, it also said terms.
And I'm not working right now, and I'm not any of those.
Well, I wish I hadn't had to do it, but I was left with no choice
It just crashed.
because it wasn't going anywhere.
Well, lessons learned, right?
Just a lesson learned.
There was a computer glitch, and another couple was allowed to check into your room.
Blame goes to a hotel for a mix-up.
It was clearly their negligence in allowing somebody to come into your room.
Exactly.
Now, she says their mistake cost her big.
A whole bunch of stuff was missing. Cash, jewelry.
$1,200 bills.
If you had $1,200 bills in your room, they would have been in the safe.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Debbie Beresford is suing hotel owner Vima Jeriwala for money and property stolen from her room.
Order. All rise. It's case number 331 on the calendar in the matter of Beresford versus Jeriwala. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Beresford, you and your husband were vacationing. Manage, sir.
I'm one of the managing partners.
Where is the hotel located?
It's in Fort Worth, Texas, ma'am.
How long were you visiting the hotel, Miss Beresford?
My fiance then, my husband now, it was 1 week he booked and paid for on the 14th of April on to the 21st of April.
And how much was it a night?
You got DVDs.
How much was it a night, sir?
First night, it was $69 per night, plus taxes and fees. And then after that, when she extended, we actually gave her a little bit of a discount.
To what?
$61 plus tax, I believe.
She extended it after April 21st.
Yes.
Is it a single room?
Yes, Queen Suite.
And is there a safe in the room?
Yes.
Okay, this is what your complaint is, Miss Beresford. You stayed there from April 14th to the 21st, then you extended your stay. Somehow there was a computer glitch in the hotel, and another couple was allowed to check into your room. What time did the other couple check into their room?
Your Honor, I'd like to call my witness, Carlton Johnson, the general manager, is on duty.
Last name is Johnson?
That's correct.
What time did the other couple check into their room?
They checked in approximately 10 p.m. that evening.
And the Beresfords were out when
They were out of the room, yes.
They were out just for the evening?
I'm assuming they were out for the evening.
Did a bellman take up their luggage, or did they take up their own luggage?
There are no bellmen present, so they don't take their luggage.
So those people checked in on the 21st?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Were you out for the evening on the 21st?
This did not happen on the 21st. It happened when I extended my time from the 21st to the 28th.
Okay, what date did it happen?
I leave the hotel the evening of the 24th and return 4:30 the morning of the 25th.
Okay, so this happened on the 24th.
Yes.
And you were out for the evening.
Just for the evening.
And you did not anticipate that somebody else was going to be in your room.
No.
So everything that you had in the room you anticipated would be there when you got back.
Correct.
Now you were in the room for 10 days. And when I go to a hotel room, anything of value I put in the safe. That's what I do in every hotel room. Because this is what your case is about. You say that other people were in your room, and after they were replaced because the hotel realized they made a mistake, that was on the 25th.
That's correct.
You went through all your stuff and you realized a whole bunch of stuff was missing. Cash, jewelry, whole bunch of valuable things were missing. The defendant says he tried to be most gracious. You went through all of your things the day that it happened. The police were there.
They were called, I believe she called them at 2 in the afternoon to make the report. She did not do it at the time of...
That's not true. I have it on the phone here. The police was called on 4:55.
For the police. About what was missing.
This is the police report that lists everything that is missing.
I'd like to take a look at it. Let me go through this. The summary of the articles that you say was missing was a computer drive, which was worth $100, or $10.
Well, that's...
Ray-Ban sunglasses, worth $40. Assorted cosmetics, $1. Assorted footwear, $1. Cash, $100.
$100 bill, $1,200 bills.
I don't believe you. If you had $1,200 bills in your room, they would have been in the safe. Don't believe you. A gold-colored diamond necklace worth $700, also in the safe.
Can I say something?
Yeah, show me where you took out $1,200 bills from a bank.
I don't live in America here. I came on a vacation. My fiancé, which lives in Texas, I came here to visit him. I don't have a bank account here.
I don't care.
And no one is going to travel to a country without no money.
Just a second. I travel all over the world, madam.
But I don't have a credit card.
And I always carry cash with me. And I always put cash in a safe. Always. Now, the defendant, because they were so upset about the goof-up that they made, how many days did they comp you for your room?
The answer said they
Stand
me.
up, sir. How many days did they comp you for the room?
They never did.
How many days did they comp you for the room?
They did not communicate
Compensate.
with us. She stayed there until the next day because she was so stressed out that she had to leave the hotel, come to my house. And I had a 16-year daughter who was upset about this relationship. So that's the reason why she stayed at this hotel in the first
What do
place.
you mean you had a 16-year-old daughter who was unhappy about your relationship with her?
Yes.
No, my daughter.
Your daughter was upset.
For that reason, yes. And then after this incident, I decided for her to come to my house.
Did you tell me in your answering papers that you comped her nights in the hotel?
We did, Your Honor.
What nights?
From the 24th to the 28th. She actually checked out on her due date.
Do you have paperwork? She checked out on the 28th?
Her last day was on the 28th. Do we have her folio for the 28th?
I don't believe I have that because she moved into it. We upgraded her room to a jacuzzi suite as well.
We moved her from the room she was in to a premium suite, a jacuzzi suite for the remainder of her stay.
So is what you're telling me that and she came back to his house?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I'd never stayed one night more at that hotel after the incident.
Your Honor, that's the truth. She was stressed out.
I got so sick, I did not stay one night because for my safety, it was the hotel negligence that somebody else could have checked into that room. Why would I want to stay one more night there?
Just a second. I agree with you. I might not have stayed either, but you did have 10 nights there that were unremarkable. And it was clearly their negligence in allowing somebody to come into your room. Clearly, their negligence. I can't tell whether or not they comped you for 4 nights that you checked out on the 28th. I can't tell you. The only one that maybe could tell me that doesn't know what's going on here is your 16-year-old daughter, who I'm not going to call, as to whether you brought her home for the last 4 nights. I'm not sure. I do know that she didn't have $1,200 just lying around her hotel room if she had a safe. That I know. Now you can sit down.
Can I say something?
Sure.
The manager said that he booked this other guest, number 2, the evening of the 21st. That did not happen. I
said to you they were negligent in allowing somebody to go into your room.
That was on the 24th.
Whatever night it was, on the 21st or the 24th, whatever night it was to go into your room. And I understand that it was stressful. What I'm telling you is I don't believe that you had 12 $100 bills lying around the room that these people stole.
It was in an envelope with some original documents that I had with me.
In the safe.
Your Honor, may I expound?
What?
When I found out about what had happened, this mistake, the power outage, the clerk contacted me to let me know what the problem was. I told the clerk that I would be in bright and early the next morning at 6 a.m. while the guest is still physically present in the hotel, and I can have the plaintiff and the person that's actually in the room meet with each other right there. Anything that she may have forgotten, she didn't pick up the evening before.
Did you do that?
I did.
Okay, that was at what time did you get there?
I got there at 6. We met with the person in the room at 7 a.m. while they were still asleep in the room.
You went to the room with the plaintiff?
I did, and the clerk that made the error.
Was her luggage and things still in the room?
She had gotten it, I understand, on the initial meeting when they got back from their room from their evening out. Anything that she may have needed to recall or anything that she may have forgotten, I wanted to make sure that I had both parties there physically present. So anything that she may have forgotten, that she'd have an opportunity to pick it up.
Where was her property at 7 a.m.? Where was her luggage, her clothes, everything else?
I understand she had picked it up later on that when they got back from that evening. That morning, anything that she may have forgotten.
Hotel?
It was in the hotel.
Yeah, in their the room that they were given. When they came back at 4 in the morning, her key doesn't work, so she has to come back and get a proper key because it got reprogrammed with the other guest. Once she gets the new key, she saw that the other guests were asleep.
Did she come back alone, or did she come back with her husband?
He wasn't physically there at the time. He didn't come onto the scene until later. I dealt with her one-on-one with the guest that was in the room.
Now, was she put in another room until 7 o'clock in the morning?
She was.
What room number was she put in?
116, premium.
And was her luggage moved out of the old room?
My understanding was it was.
But you don't know that?
I don't know.
Okay. Room 116, they have records of it. Do you remember going back to the room with Mr. Johnson at 7 o'clock in the morning and having a meeting with the other people who were in your room? Do you remember that? That's a yes or a no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
You moved in with relatives because you no longer had a job to pay for the rent. So
it was not because of paying the rent. It was just we left the premises because it was unsafe for us.
I read your nonsense. You paid your rent on time until you lost your job. Make it simple. Be honest.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Debbie Beresford says hotel owner Vimal Jariwala stolen from her room.
Now, do you remember going back to the room with Mr. Johnson at 7 o'clock in the morning and having a meeting with the other people who were in your room? Do you remember that? That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
And by that time, you had been in another room
Correct.
with your luggage, room 116.
Correct.
Right. And you had been there for at least an hour.
The clerk...
that question?
No, the clerk put my belongings in room 16. I
116.
came back...
116.
116. I came back out into the lobby and I sat there waiting for the police. I did not go into the room back.
So you're telling me that you did not go into the room to look at your luggage to see if your 12 $100 bills were there? Is that what you're telling me? That you went and sat in the lobby and didn't say the first thing that you said, gee, I have 12 $100 bills that are just lying around in an envelope. Let me see if they're there?
I think my safety, my life was more important.
I don't believe you. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The police said all they is interested is the larceny.
The items just continually grew each time we got a report from her.
There wasn't a break and enter into the hotel.
Either from the police or herself. So
it was the hotel negligence.
At that point, we really didn't believe all the things that you
would never ever recommend.
Using fair reason, I think the judge came up with a fair and equitable version of the story, and she made her decision based on that.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Nelson versus Gallegos Peña, step forward.
Irina Nelson is suing her former tenants, 22-year-old Uriel Gallegos and his wife, 21-year-old Marisol Peña, for rent, late fees, and property damage.
Mr. Nelson, the defendants are your former tenants, and it is your claim that they owe you money for damage to the property that was beyond normal wear and tear, and in addition, for rent.
That's correct.
When did they sign a lease?
They signed a lease.
Are you here? Are you not here?
Yes, I'm here. I apologize.
Where
sorry,
are
I
you?
go sit here. Sorry.
Perfect. What month and year did they sign?
June 3rd, 2017.
And when did they vacate the premises?
They left on, I would say...
When did you leave the premises?
September 5th, 2018.
So your year lease had expired. You were a month-to-month tenant.
Correct.
Yes.
Did you pay rent in September?
We did not.
Okay, so you owe September's rent.
We believe we do not owe the rent because we did not live the full month there.
I don't care whether you lived the full month there. How are they supposed to rent it on December 6th? If you're there December 1st, 2nd, you rent.
$2,150.
Where are you living now?
Rancho Santa Margarita.
With whom?
Family member. We're renting a room.
For how much?
$800.
When did you move in there?
We've been living there 3 months now.
Since when?
Since September. That's where we moved in after we left the premises.
Are you working in the same place you were working last year?
I'm unemployed.
Who were you working for last year?
I was working for A to Z Automotive as a detailing.
How long did you work for them?
6 months.
And when did you separate from them?
I left, do you remember?
November 2018.
Why?
They terminated me. Work was low.
In November?
Yeah.
You were working for them in September?
No. When we left, I was not working for them.
Oh, the month before.
What month were you terminated from your job?
August. Sorry.
So you moved in with relatives because you no longer had a job.
We moved out because we left the premises here.
You no longer had a job to pay the rent, so
It was not because of paying the rent. It was just we left the premises because it was unsafe for us.
I read your nonsense. I read your nonsense answer.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Gallegos, I had toddlers. I also have 13 grandchildren. If one of my 13 grandchildren or one of my toddlers took a crayon to a home that I owned, it would be the last crayon that they took to a wall in their entire lives.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Irina Nelson says former tenants Uriel Gallegos and his wife Marisol Peña moved without notice and left significant damage.
So you moved in with relatives because you no longer had a job.
We moved out because we left the premises here.
You no longer had a job to pay the rent, so
It was not because of paying the rent. It was just we left the premises because it was unsafe for us.
I read your nonsense answer. You lived there for a year. Now, all of a sudden, the puddle of water became a problem.
The puddle of water was constantly there. We had newborn. We're beginning parents. Bites. We were worried about our daughters.
You're not new parents. You have 2 children. You have a toddler and a newborn. So you're not brand new parents, okay? And the puddle of water, if it existed at all, was there. You paid your rent, $2,150. According to the plaintiff, she doesn't complain that you didn't pay rent. So you paid your rent on time until you lost your job. Make it simple. Be honest. You left one place to move into a place that you could afford, into a room. That's great. So the only thing that we have to figure out now is whether the damage to the property was more than just wear and tear. Did you let your toddler write on the walls?
She was a toddler. She got to the walls beforehand.
No. Mr. Gallegos, I had toddlers. I also have 13 grand toddlers. Took a crayon to a home that I owned. It would be the last crayon that they took to a wall in their entire lives. Now, you may do that when it's somebody else's home and you're just a tenant. But I guarantee you, if you get a job and you and your wife save up money and you buy a little house and you paint the inside of the house and your child goes to take a crayon and write all over the walls, it will be the last thing she does that day if you own it. Can I see pictures of the walls? Miss Nelson, when did you rent the house again?
I actually...
No, just give me a month and a date.
Yes, October 15, 2018. 18, yes, that's correct. The reason we couldn't rent it out on time because the damage was so extensive, so we needed an additional time to replace the carpet and paint it and get to rentable condition. So we lost half of the rent there, too.
Well, I see some trash. The trash that they left, this I don't consider terrible. How did the screen get broken?
We had a dog, and he chewed through it, but we left a $500 deposit for the dog as well.
Your Honor, it's non-refundable deposit.
I don't care if it's refundable. Did you fix the screen?
Yes, we did.
How much did it cost to fix the screen?
Well, we bought the supplies and we fixed it.
How much did it cost?
$11.63.
Fine. Pet deposit more than covers that.
Yeah, but it was non-refundable deposit.
He's not asking for it back. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
How much did it cost to fix the screen?
It was $111.63.
Fine. Pet deposit more than covers that.
Yeah, but it was non-refundable deposit.
He's not asking for it back. Okay. I'm just telling you, you use it for whatever damage the pet did to the house.
Yes.
The pet did the damage to the house, $150, pay for it. They also had a security deposit.
Yes.
How much?
$21.50.
Did you keep the security deposit?
Yes.
Okay. $21.50 takes care of the rest of the stuff.
Yes.
Good. So all they owe you is the month of September rent.
And a late fee.
And what?
There was a $100 late fee.
What month did you rent the house? You rented the house a month later?
October 15, 2018. So we missed almost 2 weeks of rent. We couldn't rent it on time because of the extensive damage.
So you missed 2 weeks of rental?
That's correct.
Very good. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,075. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. May step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
See the house in tip-top 100% shape.
Well, there wasn't any damages when they moved in, so everything was in a very pristine condition.
We did the best we could, but we didn't purposely destroy the property.
And everything was painted, the carpet was new paint, everything was new.
We actually had water forming in the patio, so that attracted a lot of mosquitoes.
There wasn't any issues, they should let us know.
And our baby actually got bit in the arm. She was 7 months old, so that was definitely the concern that made us leave.
That's the first time I'm hearing about it, honestly.
Mentioned to them verbally at some point.
Well, I'm glad it's settled and it's over, and
We're just glad it's over with.
I'm just hoping they're gonna learn a lesson, never do it to anyone else like that.
I have a big heart, and Meredith is a good girl.
A boss offers to help make ends meet.
I didn't have the money for school clothes, and she said, let me take Meredith shopping.
And she did.
And it was said, don't worry about it. You're not paying for it.
Now, this struggling mom's in a deeper hole.
When, for the first time, did Miss Spaulding ask you for any money for them?
The day after she pretty much said, I no longer work for her.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Employee Angela Richmond for an unpaid loan for school clothes.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 333 on the calendar in the matter of Spalding versus Richmond.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Spalding, the defendant used to work for you. You own a pizza shop?
Yes.
And there came a point while she was in your employ that, according to you, you made an arrangement with her that you would take her daughter clothes shopping for school, and she would reimburse you for what you spent, because she said she didn't have money for school clothes for her daughter. You did that, and that's what your lawsuit is about.
Yes, ma'am.
For the money that you spent for her child for school. I assume that's you. Right? Ms. Richmond said that there was never an agreement to pay you back for the clothing. She would never have spent as much money as you spent. And she has a counterclaim because she said sometimes subsequent to that, you fired her. So her lawsuit is for wrongful termination. Ms. Richmond, I'm going to start with you. When did you begin working for Ms. Spalding?
For Miss Spalding was on approximately...
Month and year.
It would have been April of 2018.
And in what month did your daughter need school clothes?
She would have started school around August the 9th of this year, and they went and got the school clothes around July the 12th.
Were you friends?
Before working for Miss Spalding, I worked for her husband for a year and a half.
In another pizza shop?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
A different one or the same one?
Different one.
So they have two pizza shops?
Yes, at the time they did.
How many times prior to April of 2018, when you started working for Miss Spalding, had you seen her?
A couple times a week for a couple of years.
And had she ever met your daughter?
Yes. My daughter would come down there with me to sometimes and sit and work or whatever.
I'd like you to tell me, Miss Richmond, how you first broached the subject with Miss Spalding about your daughter's clothes.
I didn't approach the subject. I was in a very upset mood one day when I went to work. Miss Spalding asked me what the matter was, and I told her that a lot of stress, school was fixing to start, I didn't have the money for school clothes, and she said, let me take Meredith shopping. She said, I'll get her some school clothes. I do not have my granddaughter this year. I would love to spend money on Meredith for school clothes.
Let me take her shopping for school clothes. Don't embellish it. Let me take her shopping for school clothes. And she did. And that was in July.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Shh.
Okay.
She took your daughter for clothes. Your daughter came home with the clothes?
Yes.
In July, you saw them all?
Yes.
When, for the first time, did Miss Spalding ask you for any money for them?
The day after she pretty much said, I no longer work for her.
Just a minute. What date was you went shopping in July? And August 23rd, had she said anything to you about the money for the school clothes?
Anytime anything was said about it, it was, don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about it.
No, I want you to tell me what was said. Miss Richmond, don't say don't worry about it. If there was a conversation, I want to hear about it. She took your daughter shopping. Your daughter came home. You saw the clothes. You had to have gone into work the next day and said that it was wonderful. She was very happy. That's what a normal parent would say.
I said that those clothes costed way too much money. I would have never spent that kind of money on school clothes. And
so
it was said, don't worry about it. You're not paying for it.
And she said, don't worry about it. And that was the very next day.
Within a couple of days, ma'am.
And that was July 23rd, did you say?
Clothes were bought July 12th.
July 12th.
It would have been just a few days after July 12th.
July 12th. Did you get paid between July 12th and August 23rd?
Yes.
Are you paid weekly?
Sometimes weekly, sometimes daily.
And when you get paid daily, give me an idea of what you would be paid daily.
Approximately $70 to $100, depending on whether I done any deliveries that day.
Okay. And between July 12th or 14th and August 23rd, did Miss Spalding take any money out of your wages?
No.
Is that correct, Miss Spalding? That you took no money?
Yes.
Despite the fact that you claim she owed you some $600 for the school clothes, correct?
Yes.
When, for the first time, did you demand that she pay you?
When was the first time?
First time. Date, and if you have any evidence, I'd like to see it.
Yes.
I'd like to see.
Bring it.
No. Does it have a date on it? You have a lot
Yes, they
of
do.
papers.
All these have dates.
Okay, when was the first time you asked her for the money? Give me the date. Look there and give me the date. You say that's evidence. Then you're going to show it to me.
All right, this is the day that I took her shopping. It was probably 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe the 20th after that.
Show me. You say you have something on the 20th where you ask her for the money.
No.
Miss Spalding, my question is, I'm going to rephrase it. Maybe you'll understand it. After you took Miss Richmond's daughter shopping, when for the first time do you have proof that you asked her for the money back?
Only proof that I have that I've asked her for. Okay.
That's not what I asked you. When for the first time do you have proof that you asked her for the money back? Because now you've paid her over a 6-week period of time, and you haven't deducted anything. Instead of giving her 70, 60, or 50, you're saying, listen, I'm going to deduct some money for the school clothes that you owe me. So what I want to know is between July 14th and August 23rd, when was the first time that money?
There's nothing written down as far as proof as that goes that I asked her for money.
Well, then you tell me, when for the first time did you ask her for money?
A week after I took her daughter shopping.
Then why didn't you take any money out of her pay?
I didn't.
Why didn't? My question is, why didn't you? You were giving her money. She owed you $600.
Yes, because she needed her money for other things. And I'm like, Angie, you can pay me back at $50 a week. And I have witness for that she could pay me back. But I did not take it out of her check because she needed her money. She had to pay rent, and I got a big heart. You know.
Good, that's what I thought.
I have a big heart, and Meredith is a good girl, and she needed clothes. And I also realized that Angie had other things to do, and I could afford to help her pay it. But I wanted my money back.
Okay, I got it. Okay, you have a counterclaim for wrongful termination.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did she fire you because of your age?
No.
Did she fire you because of your race?
No.
Did she fire you because of a physical disability?
No.
Did she fire you because of religion?
No.
Did she fire you because of your sexual orientation?
No.
She fired you because she no longer wanted you to work there. She thought that you had stolen from her.
Stolen, no longer doing my job
Just
performance.
a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, stolen, no longer doing your job. She's allowed to do that. To say, you know what, I don't like you anymore. Your presence irritates me for some reason. I don't like the way you dress. I don't like the smell of your cologne. Whatever it is, as long as she's not firing you based upon one of the enumerated things, she's allowed to do that. It's her business.
Ma'am, yes.
Okay, right? I think you bought her daughter presents. Your case is dismissed.
No, I did
We're
not.
done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, I think the judge made a good decision and everything.
Actually, the reason why I sued Angie is because
it was between them two. They went. She said she wanted to buy her school clothes.
She made no effort. She made nothing. They've made it personal.
Very upset. I couldn't believe they kind of spent that kind of money.
Yeah, she did. She said I would have never spent that kind of money. She did, but
I would have never spent that kind of money on those school clothes.
She didn't have decent clothes.
And I hate it that it all come to this.
There's really no way to protect yourself, you know?
Don't get involved with your friendship, boss, mixture, kind of thing like that. It don't mix.
They come in with cheap clothing, and when they're there for a few months, they show their true colors.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Stein versus Jensen. Step forward.
Wendy Stein is suing her grandson's former friend, 20-year-old Dylan Jensen, for damage to a jet ski.
Miss Stein, your grandson, I assume that's this young man.
Yes.
Invited a friend over to your lake hands. They were on your jet skis. It is your claim that Mr. Jensen's actions caused damage to the jet skis, so you want him to pay for your insurance deductible. He said the accident wasn't his fault, but I'm sort of confused about some of the math that you did, so I don't understand it. So I have to get back to some numbers. When did you purchase these jet skis? In what year?
Let me get my title out, Your Honor. I bought these October 2016.
Did you buy them new or used?
Used.
Who did you buy them from?
I bought it from a gentleman on Facebook.
You have a bill of sale.
I do not. I just have the titles.
We're getting where I'm going.
Okay.
You bought them in 2016. They were used. What year were they? Were they different years? Or
They're both exactly 1999.
So they're 20 years old.
Yes.
And you had them insured. You had some insurance on them.
Yes.
Both collision and liability.
Yes.
When you bought them in 2016, how much did you pay for them?
$3,500, which included the trailer.
So you bought a trailer and 2 jet skis for $3,500 in 2016. Is that correct?
Yes, and also the lifts that the jet skis go on.
Well, you still have the jet ski lift, and you still have the thing that tows it.
Yes.
And after this accident, which took place on what date? The company was going to total the jet skis, according to you. Instead, you said, no, write me a check. So they wrote you a check for how much?
They totaled them either way.
They wrote you a check for how much?
A total of $1,446 was my net amount.
And did you use the jet skis in the summer of 2016?
All summer until the accident.
You used them in 2016. And did you use the jet skis in 2017?
Yes.
For how many months?
Oh, probably 5.
In 2016 and 17. This accident happened in August of 2018, so I assume that you used the jet skis for 2 or 3 months in 2018.
Yes.
And where are each of the jet skis now?
In my garage.
So you have possession of them?
Yes.
And you also have possession of the lift for the jet skis that you purchased and the other piece of equipment that tows the jet skis?
Correct.
Now I know where we're at.
Okay.
Just a second. And you weren't there when this incident happened?
Correct.
Good. You want to tell me what happened?
Yes, Your Honor. We were invited, Austin.
You were out playing. How old are you?
20.
17, 18, 19, 20. It's all the same. They're all 6. Go ahead.
Your Honor, we were out on the lake. We were enjoying some fun. I've never been on a jet ski before, so it was
Dr. Phil may be interested in what you experienced, what you wanted. I, on the other hand, I'm interested in what happened that caused the accident.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The person in the back doesn't steer the jet ski.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, you knew that.
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Do you drive a car?
Yes, Your Honor.
The passenger doesn't steer the wheel. The person who's in front of the steering wheel steers the car. That's why you call them the driver.
Yes, Your Honor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Wendy Stein says her grandson's former friend, Dylan Jensen, damaged her jet ski during an outing on a lake.
You want to tell me what happened?
Your Honor, we were out on the lake. We were enjoying some fun. I've never been on a jet ski before, so it was an experience I wanted to have fun with, something to do.
Listen, Dr. Phil may be interested in what you experienced, what you wanted. I, on the other hand, I'm interested in what happened that caused the accident.
I was stopped in the lake, and as I slowed down the jet skis...
Were you driving?
Yes, I was steering.
You were steering, so you were in the front.
I was in the back of the jet ski. A friend was in front, and I was steering.
Oh, well, that's stupid. Well, that's stupid.
Your Honor, I've never been on a jet ski before.
Well, I mean, I was never on a jet ski before. A few years ago, who's in the front controls the jet ski. The person who's behind holds on, usually to 2 little hooks in the life jacket, or more so if you want to cuddle, but the person in the back doesn't steer the jet ski.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, you knew that.
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Do you drive a car?
Yes, Your Honor.
The passenger doesn't steer the wheel. The person who's in front of the steering wheel steers the car. That's why you call them the driver.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the other one is a passenger. All right. Listen, I have no sympathy for you, Miss Stein. When you let a 17 or an 18 or a 19 or a 20-year-old kid drive a jet ski, you have to assume that they're going to be irresponsible. It's a given. It's a given.
All of my grandchildren, every one of them has boat safety under their belt.
Well, then it's your fault if you're the grown-up. If you let somebody who has no experience drive your jet ski, and if something happened to him, you would be responsible. I'm just letting you know.
Sure, but I didn't know that he wasn't driving.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's your fault.
Okay, I don't agree.
I'm telling you, it's your fault. If he had an accident on the jet ski and he was seriously injured, his mother would sue you and win.
His girlfriend was in this.
Just pay attention to my mouth.
Okay.
Turn off your mouth.
Okay.
On with the ears. If he had an accident on a jet ski in your house.
Yes.
And he was hurt badly or worse,
Correct.
So it's your fault. What I'm telling you, it may be his fault because he's an idiot. But he's an idiot. But when I tell you that when you have a 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old kid out on jet skis, I know, I just came from a vacation with my grandchildren, they all act like idiots.
Yes, yes.
Even some of them who are 50 act like idiots.
Yes.
So the reason I asked you all those questions about finances is you came out ahead of the game on this one.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So to avoid getting actually hit by his jet ski, I lifted up the front end, which is why the damage is under the jet ski. And then I got a little cut up. His girlfriend got bruised in her thighs.
And nobody sued your grandmother?
Nope.
That's really nice of them.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Wendy Stein says her grandson's former friend, Dylan Jensen, damaged her jet ski during an outing on a lake.
You're suing him for your insurance deductible. You're suing him for picking up one of the jet skis. You bought the jet skis. You paid $3,000 for the jet skis because you got a whole bunch of other accoutrements with it. They're 20 years old. Insurance company gave you $1,500. You still have the jet skis.
Can I explain?
And you still, no.
Okay.
That's math.
Okay.
So I don't feel terrible for you because you actually came out a winner.
Correct.
Right. You want to be a super winner.
Well, I pay insurance premiums.
So you want to have jet skis and teenage grandchildren driving them, you pay premiums. You have a house at the lake, you have homeowners insurance, then you pay premiums on a jet ski.
Sure.
And if the insurance company says, do you have jet skis, they're going to increase your insurance.
Yes.
Of course. I know. Been there. But you see, if I had one of my grandchildren who had a friend over and they acted irresponsibly and they were negligent in causing an accident, I wouldn't sue them. You sort of take that on with the task of allowing 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds to invite young friends over and use your jet skis, that there's going to be an accident. I may feel differently and a little more sympathetic if you bought jet skis for $5,000 and they were brand new and they were damaged. But you bought 20-year-old jet skis, you got most of your money back, you had 3 years' worth of enjoyment with them with your family, so I don't feel so terrible for you. You want to stand up and tell me what happened? Fast. You're the grandson.
Yep, so what happened is we were out there. My girlfriend was behind me. They first left.
Your girlfriend was behind you on the same jet ski?
Yes.
Okay.
His girlfriend was in front of him. They took off first and went out in the lake. And then we were riding around for probably 5-10 minutes. Then me and my girlfriend were just sitting in the water. We were talking. And then Dylan was driving towards us. I was assuming he's either going to splash us or he was going to talk to us or something. But instead of, stopping, he ended up just hitting our front end.
You think he did that on purpose?
He didn't.
You think he did that because he was an inexperienced driver?
Yes.
Because if he did it on purpose, then he would have fallen off and the girlfriend would have fallen off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to avoid getting actually hit by his jet ski, I lifted up the front end, which is why the damage is under the jet ski. So if you want the pictures, we have it.
I'm not interested.
We got hit from behind under, and then his nose crunched into our bottom. And then I got a little cut up. His girlfriend got bruised in her thighs from the impact. Made sure everyone was okay. We went back.
And nobody sued your grandmother?
Nope.
That's really nice.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You think he did that on purpose?
He didn't.
Because if he did it on purpose, then he would have fallen off and the girlfriend would have fallen off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to avoid getting actually hit by his jet ski, I lifted up the front end, and then his nose crunched into our bottom. Made sure everyone was okay.
That's really nice. Your girlfriend didn't sue your grandmother under her homeowners? His girlfriend didn't sue your grandmother under her homeowners? That's really nice of them, right?
Yes.
Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I told him how you need to push the gas to turn, and he neglected of doing that.
I was inexperienced. I didn't know what the jet skis entailed.
It makes absolutely no sense because I raised my front end up. You can't raise your front end up when you're driving.
I was nervous being on a jet ski.
I raised it up so he didn't come up and over us. Hit the bottom of the jet ski, rolled around, and we came back.
We were stopped and he hit us in the water and just trying to show off and splashing us.
Made sure everyone was okay. He was screaming. We made it back. Everyone was kind of okay. His girlfriend had bruised.
Yes, we drove him back to the crank-ups and we cranked him up out of the water.
Thighs, I had a cut on my leg. Other than that, we just made it back.
He probably doesn't like me.
It was never really a strong friendship.
Probably won't do it again.
She was more responsible.
Because now she's acting like an idiot. Did she ever give you this attitude, or is it just me?
Judges, has to just be you.
No cares after
fault.
Right.
I wouldn't let her drive a scooter. What?
I don't believe that it was my fault.
I don't care what you believe. What you believe is totally irrelevant to me.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Ronelle Hector is suing her granddaughter, 19-year-old DeJean Hector, for damaging her car when she had an accident on the freeway.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 341 on the calendar in the matter of Hector versus Hector.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Miss Hector, the defendant is your 19-year-old granddaughter.
Correct.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 and 1 is deceased.
And how many grandchildren?
6.
How old are they?
She's the oldest, which is 19, 17, 8.
Okay, then the rest of them are younger.
Right.
So, Miss Hector, you appear to be an intelligent woman. You raised lots of teenagers.
Yes.
What do you know? I
They
did too.
hard-headed. They are hard-headed.
When do they lie?
Ooh. Let's see.
I would say that that's probably about right. And I sometimes say, you know a teenager is lying when their mouths are moving.
You're right.
So this is what your case is about.
Right.
There's only one attitude here. Stand up. Your granddaughter was driving your car.
Correct.
And she had certain rules if she was going to be using your car that you
Correct.
gave her.
Correct.
You can only stay in the neighborhood. You can't go to another state. You can't have other people in the car. All of those things.
All that.
Yeah. So she drove the car. There were other people in the car. She had an accident, and she was in another state.
Correct. Glad she's still here with us.
Did she hurt anybody?
No, thankful. That was my first thought. Are you all right?
Do you know if she had kids in the car and if any of them were hurt, they would have sued you?
Yes.
And they would have won.
Yeah.
And they would have won because you gave permission to your granddaughter to drive your car. Now, if she's irresponsible, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Because you gave permission to an irresponsible driver to drive your car. So the passengers in the car, who probably knew they weren't even supposed to be in the car, could have sued you successfully if they were hurt. Not to mention, if she was in an accident and she hurt somebody. And I tell you about attitudes. Put your hands at your sides like this. Down. Perfect. Stand up straight. Great. Better. Now, your grandmother gave you permission to drive her car?
Yes.
And she said to you nobody else was supposed to drive the car?
Yes.
And she said she didn't want any other kids in the car?
I don't know.
You don't know. Did she tell you she didn't want you to drive out of state?
No.
No. Did she tell you to be careful?
All the time.
Well, when she let you drive her car, what were the rules, if any, that she gave you?
There was not. I don't recall. Just be careful and don't hit nothing.
Well, that's good advice. Well, on what date did you hit something?
Maybe I don't recall.
Miss Hector, is she acting for me today, or is this what her attitude is?
This is it.
Then I wouldn't have let her have a car. Why did you let that
Thought she
attitude
was
have
more
a car?
responsible.
You mean when she was asking for the car? Because now she's acting like an idiot.
Right. When she was asking for the car, I didn't get none of this attitude.
I mean, did she ever give you this attitude, or is
No.
it just me?
Judge, it has to just be you.
Yeah, well, I have that effect on people sometimes. They get stupid, you know. They're smart outside, they come in here, and they leave their brains at the exit sign.
Right.
So tell me about the accident, Miss Hector.
Well, I was driving on the highway to Kentucky.
What were you doing?
So when I was coming back, I was driving, and the lady had rear-ended me in the back of the car. And I spun around and was facing the way of the direction of the traffic. And she was on the other side of the road. Then, that's when I called my granny and told her what happened, and the other lady called the police officer. And then when they arrived to the scene, he just asked what happened, driver's license, insurance, this, that, and the third. And the police officer was kind of rude because he asked, well, like, where was I going to take the car? And I told him I had AAA. He told me that they were not going to wait for AAA because they take forever, so they got their own tow company. And then they just gave me pieces of paper saying where the car was and how to get in contact for the incident report and stuff like that. And then I went to the hospital because my head was hurting.
Do you have a copy of the police report?
I don't.
Miss Hector, do you have a copy of the police report? I'd like
Yes,
to take
I
a
do.
look at it. Where's your car now, Miss Hector?
Car is at Silver Grove and is totaled.
So what you did, Miss Hector, is, according to the independent witness, you came across from the high-speed lane, across all the lanes of traffic, to exit at the right. That's what the witness, that's not the other lady. That's a witness that the police found. So clearly, based upon what I read here in the police report and what your granddaughter tells me, the accident was clearly her fault.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, part of the problem is your judgment in letting her use the car to begin with. I think that she, however, has to have some responsibility. Right now, I'm not getting the sense that she senses any responsibility. Her answer to this case was it was the woman's fault she hit her in the rear. It was not the woman's fault because your granddaughter was not driving carefully. She came from a high-speed lane all the way over to the right to exit, and the gray SUV, according to the independent witness, had no time to respond and hit her. But that was her fault.
Correct.
So she's got to take responsibility. She says she doesn't remember any what?
I don't believe that it was my fault because nobody got a ticket for this.
I don't care what you believe. What you believe is totally irrelevant to me. What you acknowledged before to me was that you came over from the left-hand lane to the exit lane, which you can't do. That's what you acknowledged to me before.
I was still in the left-hand lane of the accident. I never went from the exit. I was still in the left-hand lane.
Going to read what the independent witness said in the police report. Once back at the office, this officer contacted Mr. Meller, the witness who stopped on the scene. When I asked Mr. Meller about what he saw, he stated that he was lane heading east on 275 when he witnessed a white car coming across all lanes of traffic to catch the exit ramp. At that time, he stated the gray SUV had no time to react. That's the independent witness. Did you understand what I just read?
I mean, yes, but, you know, I'm a teenager African-American. You know, they were Caucasian, and so was the police officer. And then he drove off. So how can he even talk to the police officer when he drove off? He stopped to ask, was the lady okay? He ain't talked to no police officer.
First of all, could you lower your voice about 2 octaves? Lower your voice about 2 octaves, like mine. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. You want me to read it to you again? Do you want me to read it to you again? I don't care whether the police were black, white, chartreuse, yellow, or green. What difference does it make? A witness who had no axe to grind stopped at the accident long enough to give the police officer his name and his telephone number so that he could be a witness. A very good citizen. He didn't stop because you were black. He stopped because you were driving. I'm speaking. Lower the octave. He stopped because he witnessed an accident that was your fault and he wanted to tell the police about it. That's being a good citizen. Miss Hector, stay in school as long as you can.
Boy.
Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,250. Half of it is your fault. I wouldn't let her drive a scooter.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I really agree with Judge Judy. It is my fault.
I don't think it was right.
I should have thought more better on my granddaughter.
I don't think it's right to sue anybody in the family.
No, I haven't heard her say I'm sorry, Granny, not one time.
Yes, I did. I apologize.
I'm just glad we had this experience to come in so somebody else could tell her that she needs help.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of DeMarco versus Cortini. Step forward.
24-year-old Sean DeMarco is suing his former dog sitter, 21-year-old Kaylee Cortini, for the cost to retrieve a car, a false restraining order, and harassment.
Miss Cortini, you worked for Mr. DeMarco as a dog sitter for a period of time. For how long?
About 4 months.
During that time, you charged him a certain amount of money to walk his dog?
Correct. I had her 24 hours a day.
How much did you charge him to walk his dog?
I let him know as long as he paid for her vet bills, food costs, and all that stuff, that was our agreement. He'd never paid.
Why?
I asked him several times. He had said that he was broke and trying to get into 5 hours a day.
Where were you living?
In Woodland Hills.
With whom?
My grandmother.
Is what you're telling me you kept the dog at your grandmother's house?
Yes.
He didn't keep the dog at his house?
No, Your Honor.
Is that right?
That is true.
How did you meet Miss Cortini?
Your Honor, Miss Cortini volunteered to...
I asked you a question. How did you meet Miss Cortini?
I had posted an ad on Craigslist stating that I would pay for my...
Okay. How did you meet him?
He had posted an ad on Craigslist. I responded.
That said what?
He was looking for a dog sitter. He had nowhere to live, and he didn't want to take the dog to the shelter.
Did he say what kind of a dog it was?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of a dog?
A golden retriever.
How old?
He said 2 years old.
So he said he was homeless, didn't want to take the dog to a shelter. He would pay for food, etc. if somebody would take the dog while he was looking for a home. Is that what the idea of
yes,
the
Your
Briggs?
Honor.
Why in the world would you answer that ad?
I wish I didn't.
And you kept the dog with you for 4 months?
Correct, Your Honor.
What were you doing during those 4 months, Mr. DeMarco?
I was looking for housing. I am here today over Miss Cortini's stealing my...
I don't care what you're here for today. I'm getting a whole different feel for this case than when I first read your complaint, sir. So Miss Cortini took care of your dog for 4 months, and you didn't pay her? No.
She never asked to be paid. She volunteered.
Are you listening to what I'm saying to you? Miss Cortini was a stranger to you, took care of your dog for 4 months, and you didn't pay her.
Correct.
Good. Slightly different story from what I read in your complaint, sir, which suggested that she was your dog sitter, which suggests to one that I have a dog and somebody comes in maybe once a day to sit with my dog or takes it out for a walk twice a day. But in this case, Miss Cortini took the dog of a stranger and took care of it. And you did nothing while you were homeless, but you had a car.
Your Honor, I did try and get the dog back, but Miss Cortini would not give me the dog. I went there with the police on several occasions.
Mr. DeMarco, was that before or after the car?
It was after she stole the vehicle.
Oh, okay. I'm not interested.
She stole the vehicle on...
Listen to me, sir. I'm going to tell this story now because the complaint that you wrote was very, very one-sided.
No.
Now, I'm getting a different impression of the case, so I'm going to explore it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you got the dog from him, the dog was already pregnant?
She had puppies 3 days after I got her.
How did that happen?
I would just like to say that...
I didn't ask you what you would like to say. I asked you how did it happen that you were so irresponsible to have this dog and be pregnant?
Real people, Judge Judy.
Sean DeMarco says Kaylee Cortini overstepped her bounds as a dog sitter. He is suing for a car taken without permission, a false restraining order, and harassment.
What you said in your complaint, and just pay careful attention. What? You want out?
No.
Great. What you said in your complaint was Miss Cortini was your dog walker, and she said she wanted to buy your car.
Correct.
And you agreed on a price. She gave you a down payment. According to her, she told you don't cash the check for a couple of days. You went to try to cash the check, and the check bounced. Miss Cortini had taken the car, and by the time you tried to get it back, she had forged the title, sold it to somebody else. Police were involved, and ultimately you got your car back. And you're suing her for $5,000 for keeping your car and the costs incurred in getting your car back, et cetera, et cetera. That's what your case is. What we didn't say was that she really had no connection with you other than she was being a good Samaritan and taking care of your dog for 4 months. Now I'm going to go back to Miss Cortini. There came a time when you made an arrangement with him to purchase his car.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that car was an
Audi A6.
For how much?
$800.
That was the total?
On its last leg.
What year Audi?
I believe it was 2013.
Nobody buys an Audi for $800.
Correct.
So I want you to understand, I don't buy that.
He did owe me, you know, part of the agreement was he owed me so much money for taking care of his dog. It was kind of a compromise.
So now let's go back. Uncross your hands. When you agreed to take the dog and babysit for it, did you make an arrangement with him to get paid?
Yes.
And how much were you supposed to get paid?
He was supposed to pay for all of her vet bills, all of her food costs and care. I received $40 one time in 4 months.
So he wasn't supposed to pay you. He was supposed to take care of all of her food.
Correct.
And her vet bills.
Correct.
Did you have to take her to the vet?
I did have to take her one time, yes.
Do you have the bill for that?
I do not.
Well, then...
Yeah.
And over the course of 4 months, how much did it cost to feed his dog?
I calculated about $187 with the food she was eating.
A week?
She has a severe liver issue and she doesn't process food. She came to me 43 pounds underweight, which is part of the reason I was a little bit hesitant. I had worked so hard to get her weight back and get her healthy again.
Do you have a photograph of her?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Sorry, sir. 1 second.
Your Honor.
I'm not at you yet.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She hasn't given me the dog or the puppies because she's her over the car, and she didn't tell you that part. She's leaving that out.
I wouldn't give you your dog back.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sean DeMarco says Kaylee Cortini overstepped her bounds as a dog sitter. He is suing for a car taken without permission, a false restraining order, and harassment.
Do you have a photograph of her?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Here you go. Sorry, sir. 1 second.
Your Honor.
I'm not at you yet.
Okay, 1 second, sir. That was her pregnant, Your Honor. That's why she has such a big stomach.
When you took the dog from him, was the dog pregnant?
Yes.
She had puppies?
She had 5 on my couch and cost me $1,000 to get a new couch for my grandmother.
What did you do with the puppies?
I still have them, Your Honor.
When did she have them?
Very beginning of July.
So when you got the dog from him, the dog was already pregnant?
She had puppies 3 days after I got her.
How did that happen?
I would just like to say that...
I didn't ask you what you would like to say. I don't care what you would like to say. I asked you, how did it happen that you were so irresponsible to have this dog, not neutered, and be pregnant?
Well, the dog was pregnant when I was out of town by a friend of mine.
Who was...
Another dog because the dog was not fixed. And that's why...
I asked you first... Let's start with that. Why did you have a dog that wasn't fixed?
I guess because I was irresponsible. And
that's perfect answer.
Right.
Because you were irresponsible.
Right.
Now you're irresponsible and you leave your dog with somebody else.
Right. And I didn't want to get rid of the dog. That's why I was trying to find a pet sitter. But I would like to say there's 2 separate cases and there's already been a judgment pending for the dog issue in Long Beach that Ms. Cortini has not told you. And that's why I'm trying to let you know.
Just a second. So there is another case pending with regard to what and the dog?
That we're waiting for the judgment in the mail over the dog. And that's why I haven't paid her yet for the dog because we're waiting for the judgment in the mail.
You haven't paid her what for the dog?
For the care, the time, all of that, because she hasn't given me the dog or the puppies, because she's not giving me the dogs back, because she got mad because I'm suing her over the car, and she's not giving me my dog back. And she didn't tell you that part.
I wouldn't give you your dog back. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't give you your dog back.
I just would like to let you know I have an emergency protective order. I previously had one. He's relentlessly harassing me and my father, and he's not left me alone for the last 3 months.
I wouldn't give him the dog back.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. .com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
How old is the dog?
The dog is 2 years old, and she doesn't...
Just a second. The dog is 2 years old. First, the dog was with somebody else who negligently allowed your dog to get pregnant. Then you were homeless.
No, I was never homeless. I was in the process of moving from Northern California to Southern California, and I didn't want to get rid of the dog, so that's why I had her...
Why did you have to get rid of the dog for?
Because I was living in a hotel because my landlord wouldn't let me keep the dog while I was moving from Northern California to Southern California, and I didn't want to get rid of the dog, so that's why I had her pet sit for me while I was looking for a house down here in LA County.
Pet sitting requires payment.
I was going to pay her.
Just a second. Pet sitting requires payment.
I told her.
How much did you pay her?
I was going to pay her.
Going to pay her how much?
She told me that she didn't
want to pay her how much?
We never agreed on the price.
Mr. DeMarco, I'm not doing this case in a bifurcated way. So when you get the decision from the judge in Long Beach County, you come back here and talk to me. I want to see what the judge in Long Beach does with regard to the dog. Then you can come back. All right.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy. Serious threats made over a man.
Do not contact him again. You do it, and I promise you, I will put you under.
Nice. Who has the boyfriend now?
Nobody.
Probably better.
But can she move on from her anger?
What's wrong with you?
She was sending around 50 messages to Joey.
Who cares about Joey? Even you don't care about Joey. She doesn't care about Joey. Joey doesn't care about you.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jennifer Bremer is suing her ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Mann, for vandalism to her car, harassment, and stalking.
Order. All rise. It's case number 288 on count in the matter of Bremer versus Mann. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Ms. Bremer, the defendant is the girlfriend of your ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
And it is your claim to claim as a result of filing a false order of protection and harassment. Who has the boyfriend now?
Nobody.
Probably better. When is it that you allege that the defendant vandalized your car?
The first incident was July 11th.
Were there any witnesses?
There was a neighbor.
Do we have the neighbor here?
I don't. I have a police statement that says that she was seen kicking my car.
Witness. When was the next incident?
August 16th.
Of this year?
2017.
Any witnesses to that?
I walked out and seen her on my property, and I called the police. And when the police got there, the back of my car was keyed.
August 16th. Ms. Mann, were you on her property on August 16th? Was that what the police report is going to show?
The police report on August 16th.
August 16th.
That one does say that I was.
Just a second.
It does say.
Miss Mann, I want you to pay attention to me.
Yes, ma'am.
If the police report says that you were on her property because the police officer observed you on her property, then you were on her property.
The police report says that she claims I was on her property.
That's a different story.
Yes, ma'am.
May I see the police report?
This is
no,
every...
don't show me all those things.
These are all of her reports.
I said I want to see the police report of August 16th. Miss Mann, do you have a protective order against Miss Bremer?
No, I do not. I have one that I filed.
No, the answer is no.
No.
Do you have an estimate to repair the keyed car that was keyed on the 16th?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it. My next question is, Ms. Bremer, you filed for an order of protection against the defendant. And that was probably as a result of this first incident where you have no witness. You were granted a temporary order of protection, according to the police officers.
No.
You were not?
No. She actually didn't show up for the court date, so I got an automatic 6 months.
No.
I'm sorry.
When you go in by yourself, you get a temporary order of protection because the other side has to be served, and then you come back to court.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So you got a temporary order of protection after the first incident, but prior to the second one.
Right.
Do you remember when the temporary order of protection became final for 6 months?
9/1 of 17.
And it was valid for 6 months?
No, automatic, and then she had requested to have another court date, so we went back, and then I showed my evidence, and he gave a 2-year restraining order.
2 years?
2 years.
So now you have a 2-year restraining order. Was there any other vandalism to the car that you have a witness for or evidence of?
No.
When was the last time she bothered you?
As far as like talking, or you mean vandalizing my car? Because my car has been hit a lot, but...
After the 16th of August, when was the next time that your car was vandalized?
On January 13th.
How was it vandalized?
It was keyed. The whole side of it was keyed.
Do you have any evidence that it was the defendant who did that?
The only thing I have are text messages of her threatening me.
I'd like to see them.
I also have a voicemail that she left me where she threatened me.
I'd like to hear that, too.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Cassie, and
I'm
just calling about the absurd amount of voicemails you left on my fiance's messages, and I'm letting you know you have one warning. If you do not stop and knock it off right now, you and I are going to have some massive problems. I am warning you, and like I said, this is your one and only warning. I will not play these games. I've heard all of the messages. You're done. Do not contact him again. You have to contact me. Contact me all you want, and you and I can have as many words as you want to have. Do not contact him again. You understand me? You do it, and I promise you, I will put you under. I guarantee it. You do not know who you are messing with. I promise you don't know who you're messing with. You don't know who I know. You don't know what I can do. You don't know who you're with. Back the off.
Nice.
Am I allowed to say anything yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
So far, if that was your voice, which I'll be able to tell you in a minute, you're an idiot.
I am. No, it was foolish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a real idiot. Tell you what, Let me find out you contact him again. I have enough friends in really high places. Whatever happens to you will be on you. I know your vehicle. I know where you live. I know where you work, your illegal activities, who you hang out with. So keep going. I'm not threatening you. I'm warning you. I'm promising you. What's wrong with you?
Because right after that was said that I was filing a restraining order. That was what was left out of that report.
You were filing a restraining order for what?
All of the harassment. She had left me 36 hours worth of messages.
Oh, I'd like to see them.
I have a good handful of messages for you. Same time of that, she was also sending around 50 messages to Joey.
I don't care about Joey.
Okay.
Who cares about Joey? Even you don't care about Joey. She doesn't care about Joey. Joey doesn't care about you.
Then...
Can I just see what she was sending you that inspired this? Because so far I don't hear about any complaints about you, only about her contacting Joey.
Yes.
Are you talking back and forth to her? You're responding to her. You're having a conversation with her.
The whole thing initiated with me. This is how I...
Could you just answer my question? You're having conversations with her. Am I incorrect?
By that point, yes.
Who cares?
I had responded, yes.
You're having conversations with her. What you're a paralegal?
I was for 7 years up until this happened.
Well, what happened to you? You were a paralegal. What happened to that?
All of the false reports and the one that's invasion of privacy and
the final order of protection for 2 years.
Yes.
That's after a trial.
There was no...
Oh, yes, there was. There had to have been a trial.
Right.
Because you asked to reopen the default. She was given an order of protection for 6 months.
Correct.
Because you didn't show up.
Correct.
You came in, you showed up, you asked to vacate the default because of some mistake, right?
Yes.
I'm telling the story because I was hearing. Eventually, maybe not the same day that you asked to vacate the default, there was a hearing. The judge took evidence, took testimony from her, took testimony from you, granted her a 2-year order of protection, not a 6-month order of protection, but a 2-year order of protection. Didn't give you an order of protection.
Correct.
No, the first time or the second time. Didn't give you an order of protection.
I was in a different county, but my county is different than LaPorte County.
Okay.
So,
judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
This has been very horrible and stressful on me. Just the whole thing has been bad.
I hope that I finally start getting harassed. I have nothing to say.
Because it's been going on for a long time, and I'm just happy that my car is going to be taken care of.
I'd like to go.
I hope she never contacts me again and leaves me alone forever.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bailey versus Burkholder. Step forward.
Evelyn Bailey is suing her daughter, Dawn Burkholder, for the unpaid balance on a car and pain and suffering.
Miss Bailey, this is your daughter.
Yes, yes.
And there came a time when your daughter needed a car. She didn't have sufficient credit to get one on her own. You would agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And your mother co-signed for a car.
Signed for me, Your Honor.
When did she do that?
In March of 2017.
And it was clear that it was your car?
Yes.
You returned the car to her. On what date?
April or May of 2018, Your Honor.
And the car was given back to the bank. It was sold. There was a shortfall. And that's what your mother is suing for. She's suing for the difference that she still owes the bank on this car that was clearly your car.
Right.
That's the facts of the case. Relatively simple. So I would like you to tell me what were the circumstances surrounding you returning the car to your mother?
Constantly being told when she was mad at my husband to return the car, or she would have the car repossessed.
Were you making the payments?
I was making every payment every month. I was never late.
Judge, if you would
ever said that, ever.
Just
never, ever said that.
Just a second. Is there any issue that your daughter was making payments faithfully on the car?
Not to my knowledge.
There was never an issue?
No.
Okay. So now she's got a car, she's making payments on the car, and for some reason, she drops the car off at your house and says, I don't want it anymore. Mm-hmm. And that happened after you had the car for a year?
Yes.
How much were the car payments on the car?
They were $245 a month.
And how much was the car originally?
With everything that I had added onto it, I believe it was like $16,000.
And was there a down payment put on the car?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
$1,500.
Who put down the down payment?
I did.
So in it, but you also had the $245 a month that you had been paying faithfully, that everybody agrees.
Yes.
So there has to be some reason that you had this car. There was nothing wrong with it. Now, I want you to tell me conversation that you had with her mother, when you had the conversation, where you were, when they started.
She would let me know that my husband had to be put on the insurance, which I had. She wasn't happy about him driving the vehicle.
I don't care whether she was happy or not.
Right. I don't know when the conversations were, Your Honor. I don't have a very good memory, but she was basically saying that, you know, she would get mad at my husband and...
What would they get angry about?
My husband is very outspoken. I'm not. I'm not sure. Sometimes it was...
He rubs her the wrong way.
Right.
Whatever.
He rubbed her the wrong way. And it was return the car and then not return the car.
When did she tell you to return the car?
A couple months after my husband and I got married.
Okay, but you didn't?
No, because then she would say, well, you know, don't return the car. It was a back and forth thing, and it caused problems between my husband and I. We had to go to counseling. I finally got to the point where, you know, I'm just going to return the car and wash my hands of it.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What were the allegations in the restraining order?
Harassment.
Harassment is a loose term. I get harassed every day. Fortunately, they pay me for it. What's the problem?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Evelyn Bailey says her daughter, Dawn Burkholder, abandoned a car that was in her name. Dawn is countersuing for harassment and violating a restraining order.
Now, there's something to suggest in here that you requested a protective order against your mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
When was that?
That was October 2017 was the first one.
Was that after you were married?
Yes, Your Honor. 6 months.
Was there a trial on that case?
No, Your Honor.
What happened with that case?
With this, it's just to serve a restraining order. If she wanted to contest it, then we would go to trial so she can contest the restraining order.
Just a second. Did you consent to a restraining order?
Yes, I consented to it.
You consented to it?
Well, I accepted it.
The judge said, do you want to have a trial on this restraining order or not? You said, I consent to it. What were the allegations in the restraining order?
It was harassment.
Harassment is a loose term. I get harassed every day. Fortunately, they pay me for it.
Coming into my job every day, talking about my husband, you know, stuff like that. It was causing problems at my old employment, and it was to... So I had to do that, and to try and keep peace, I needed to make sure that no phone calls, no text messages, no coming in, and anything like that, because like I said, it was affecting my marriage with my husband. Newlyweds, we're trying to build our own life together.
Is this your first marriage?
And this is my second marriage.
How long were you married the first time?
A year and a half.
So this is really a first time around for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've been married a little over a year?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the problem?
I never had a problem with her. I don't understand the whole thing. She didn't have the problem at work. It was Walmart. I go in there to buy stuff, and if I saw her, yes, I would talk to her.
About what?
About what was happening in life, and her sister and her brother and her nephew. Just normal stuff.
Who was this?
This is my grandson, who is here because he witnessed a lot of the things with the car being returned and when she was arrested and stuff like that.
So now you return the car. Did there come a time when you were arrested?
There is, Your Honor, but that is a separate case and has nothing to do with this.
Everything has to do. Everything has to do with everything.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
By returning the car, you clearly understood that there was going to be a shortfall on the car. I mean, you're a grown-up. You know that you at least owe on the car.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Evelyn Bailey says her daughter, Dawn Burkholder, abandoned a car that was in her name. Dawn is countersuing for harassment and violating a restraining order.
In what month and year were you arrested?
June of 2018, Your Honor.
Did that arrest have anything to do with your mother or the car?
No, Your Honor.
Was it a familial matter?
Between my husband and I.
Was it a domestic case with regard to you and your husband?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has that case been resolved?
Yes, Your Honor.
How has it been resolved? Was there a dismissal? Was there a plea? Or was there a trial?
There was a trial, and it was ultimately dismissed.
It was dismissed after trial?
Yes.
You were the defendant in that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was there any time that you spent in jail on that case subsequent to your arrest?
No, Your Honor.
And the car was returned in April or May. Is that correct? When was it returned?
But I never asked for her to return.
Just a second. Car was returned in April or May.
It was returned May 10th.
And the last payment was
in April.
Yeah, in April.
Are you still employed, Ms. Burkholder?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, when you contracted with your mother back in 2000, the agreement was that you were going to pay for the car. She was merely signing as a co-signer, as collateral. And by returning the car, you clearly understood that there was going to be a shortfall on the car, which was going to fall on either you or your mother. I mean, you're a grown-up. You're a grown-up. If you buy a car for $16,000 and for a year you pay $200 a month, that's $2,400 a year. And if the car costs $16,000 and if you put down $1,500 and the car depreciates in value from the time you drive it out of the showroom, you know that you at least owe on the car more than my jurisdiction is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right? So you know that. Well, who did you expect to pay that?
I assumed that my mom would keep it and give it to my nephew, who had just gotten his driver's
just
license.
A second. Did you ever discuss that with your mother?
No, Your Honor. I did not.
So what goes on in the operation of your mind is really unimportant. You have a car, you made a contract with your mother. Your contract with your mother was, it's my car, I will make the payments on it. I just can't afford to keep it myself. And so far, actually, Ms. Burkholder, I have heard nothing from you that would negate that contract.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you in a family dispute? On Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So far, actually, Ms. Burkholder, I have heard nothing from you that would negate that contract, that would permit you to dump the car on your mother and leave her with the responsibility of paying off the note on the car. I've heard nothing. I mean, she harassed you. She came into your place of business. She would talk badly about your husband. She would say you have to return the car, and you didn't return the car. And finally, what you say was that the relationship with your mother became overbearing and was interfering with your marriage. Probably had as much to do with the fact that you disapproved of the marriage in the car, because that's what I'm reading in the paper. She disapproved how long you knew him, before you got married or you met. I don't know what she disapproved of. And you and your husband decided it was better for your marriage if you had no nexus to your mother, which was the car. I mean, is that what I'm hearing?
In a sense, Your Honor,
In a sense, that, yeah. And what's the shortfall on the car, Miss Bailey?
$5,029.97.
May I see that, please?
Thank you.
Yeah. Judging for the plaintiff, the amount of $5,000.
What about my countersuit, Your Honor?
It's dismissed.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I am so glad I could not afford to.
Basically, it is what it is. It's done and over with.
Take on that responsibility, and I'm glad she saw it my way.
Now my husband and I can just...
The final straw was her serving me with a second restraining order.
Do what we need to do and not have anything to do with my family.
I hope that she learns to take more responsibility on her own life.
It's time to go separate ways.
And maybe contact her family, because she has no contact with anybody now.
A pet sitter's struggle.
I would not give him back the dog that he hasn't had for a year.
She's terrified of him.
Listen to me. I'm terrified of him.
Is he unfit to be a dog owner?
It's imperative that you see this before you read that.
Absolutely. Before I read it?
I have a lot of respect for you, and I really need you to read this.
Don't say anything else that's going to irritate me, Mr. DeMarco.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Previously on Judge Judy.
So there is another case pending.
I hate her yet for the dog because we're waiting for the judgment in the mill, because she hasn't given me the dog or the puppies, because she got mad because I'm suing her over the car and she's not giving me my dog back.
I'm not doing this case in a bifurcated way. So when you get the decision from the judge in Long Beach County, you come back here and talk to me. I want to see what the judge in Long Beach does with regard to the dog. Then you can come back.
And a case continued from yesterday. 24-year-old Sean DeMarco is suing his former dog sitter, 21-year-old Kaylee Cortini, for the cost to retrieve a car, a false restraining order, and harassment.
Now, I was furnished with a copy of the decision and order that you were waiting on from the judge who heard the initial part of this case. And other than the fact that the judge does allude to the fact that you presented no evidence of a bad check with regard to the car, the decision of the court seems to be interesting. It says that you owe her $4,500 for taking care of the dog, the puppies, the vet bill, the neutering, all of the expenses for the months that she took care of what was then your responsibility. Your claim, she is to return the dog and the puppies to you. However, the judge says that that's not going to happen unless at the exchange you have $4,500 to give her, right?
Correct.
That's what the judge says. Now, I need a little more information. I'm not going behind this judge's opinion. I just want to know, you said the dog is 2 years old. Now, the dog has been with her since June.
June, correct.
June, July, August, September, October, November. So the dog's been with her for 6 months. Now, the dog came to her pregnant. The gestation period for a dog is 63 days. She says the dog gave birth to puppies 3 days after it arrived, which means it had been with your friend or whoever was taking care of the dog irresponsibly for at least 2 months, because you said that you weren't there when whoever was watching the dog let the dog get pregnant. That's what you told me 2 weeks ago, correct?
No, my dog was just there while I was out of town.
For how long?
Like the weekend, just temporarily.
Where were you out of town?
I was out of town like a few hours away. They were just watching the dog.
You know what, then I don't believe you.
Okay.
I don't believe you. So your whole case here has to do with the fact that you allegedly sold her the car, but she only gave you a check for $800. Let me go through this very.
Let me go through this for the car.
Second, what was she giving you a check for $800 for?
For a rental car. The check she gave me was not for the car, and the check she gave me was an NSF, and I have the bank statement showing it was an NSF.
The check she gave you was for a rental car?
Right.
Explain that to me.
So the check she gave me was for a Midway rental car. She never gave me any money for the car.
Just a second, Mr. DeMarco. Pay careful attention to me, sir. She got possession of your car. You don't claim that she got possession of your car illegally because you didn't report that she stole your car the day she took possession of it.
A month.
Just... Sorry. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There was a stolen car report. She never paid me for the car.
No. Mr. DeMarco, on what date did she originally take possession of the car?
July 30th.
And on what date is the check written?
The check was written on July 30th also, I believe.
So she took possession of the car on July 30th and gave you a check on July 30th.
Right, and there was also a rental car on July 30th.
For whom?
I rented a car for her also in both of our names.
Just a second. Is she listed as the driver?
Yes, both of us. She didn't have a credit card, so she asked me to rent it in both of our names because she was watching the dog.
Is that what happened?
No, Your Honor.
Yes, I have the rental car in both of our names. If you would like to see it,
no,
bailiff, can you take it?
Not interested. Now, I want you to tell me...
The car that he did sell me has been in 5 accidents and had 16 minor repairs. And it has also went through 6 owners, so the car wasn't even running well.
Why would he list you as a driver on a rental car agreement?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, on what date did you report the car stolen? Is not an answer. She took the car without your permission on July 30th. You rented a car on July 30th. On what date did you report the car stolen? You have a stolen car report.
I was actually out of the country. I was out of the country, so I had to file it in person.
I don't care. She took the car on the 30th.
I think it was August 1st. Let me pull up the police report. Here's the police report.
Dated.
I brought my flight ticket also to prove to you that I was out of the country.
I don't care if you were out of the country. July 30th, she gave you a check for $800. You say she stole the car on July 30th.
I was trying to get the car back from her, though.
Don't tell me a story, sir.
Okay.
If somebody stole my car on July 30th, I would report the car stolen on July 30th.
Well, Your Honor,
don't give me a but. What date did you report the car stolen?
On August 12th, but she got she got an emergency protective order against me, so I wasn't able to try and get the car back.
Mr. DeMarco, I want you to listen. You may have pulled the wool with this dumb act with somebody else. You're not doing it with me. If somebody steals my car on July 30th, I report it stolen on July 30th. And the fact that she gets a restraining order against you doesn't impact the fact that you report the car stolen on the day it was stolen. On what date did you try to cash the check? On what date did you try to cash the check? Just answer.
I deposited it that day, but Your Honor, she stole the title also, and she had registered it in her name so the police wouldn't take a stolen police report.
This is my verdict.
No.
This is my verdict. Do you have the car back?
I did get the car back.
Great. Did you pay her the $4,500 for taking care of the puppies?
She refused to give me back the dogs.
Just a second. Did you pay her the $4,500?
I have not gotten the dogs back.
Great. Then you're going to follow what the judge says.
I'm willing to do
that. Great. You're going to pay her $4,500 from your pocket because I cannot overrule a superior court judge. Now, I could make a settlement with you if you both agree, because in here that sort of gives some latitude to the two of you to resolve I'm speaking.
I know. I just want to say one thing.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm not asking for anything for the car. I could have reported this to the impound fees and the expense that I incurred because...
I'm not giving it to you.
Okay.
When you give her $4,500, consider yourself...
Yeah, I'm willing to do that.
Just a second. When you give her the $4,500, you get your dogs back. According to this, you say to the judge that the dogs that she took care of... Hey, I'm speaking. That the dogs that she took care of, 5 of them, are worth $2,000 apiece.
No,
that's what you said.
$1,000.
All righty, let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. DeMarco testified he wants the 5 dogs or the value which he believes to be $2,000 per dog, not $1,000. That's what the judge says. The judge is lying?
Well, I said they're around $1,000 to $2,000.
No.
But
got it? Zippity-doo-dah. When you come up with $4,500, which I would like to see, because actually, Miss Cortini, I would not give him back the dogs. If I were making the decision,
actually.
I would not give him back the dog that he hasn't had for a year.
She's terrified of him.
Listen to me. I'm terrified of him. What I'm telling you is, I would have ruled differently in this case. I'm not the judge in this case.
I'm out.
If I'm not the judge in this case, I wouldn't have given him the puppies back. I wouldn't have given him the dog back. You have this order, but this order says, Brand, he doesn't get the dogs.
Thank you.
So if he's got the money, terrific. What?
About the tolls,
I don't think she has the dogs.
He got the car back and then racked up several toll bills.
She needs to report it to the toll that she doesn't have the car.
I did. I have.
Then report it that you didn't have the car. Simple.
He's got the car back. He's not, listen to me, he's not going to be able to register the car if it's got outstanding tickets. They gave it back to him. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He has a useless car. He can't register it unless you want to make it, listen to me carefully, unless you want to make an arrangement now, sir. Then I will entertain your application for impound and for the cost of getting your car back. I will entertain that.
That's what I would like. That's what I was here for.
Great. If you leave the dogs where they are.
She doesn't have the dogs.
Just a second. If you leave the dogs where they are. If you withdraw your case, I will entertain your application for the impound fees and for the cost of getting your car back.
Okay.
Do you...
Yeah,
just a
because, Your Honor, I don't believe she has the dogs.
Just a second.
She needs to be honest.
Mr. DeMarco, this is the route that we can take. Either I say...
I'm willing to do that
adios,
because I'm not going to get the dogs back anyways.
Adios, goodbye, which I'm more than prepared to do.
Okay, because at this point, I'm not going to get the dogs. I already know that.
Just an agreement.
I'll do that.
Yes? Good. I'm going to recall the case once you sign the agreement. Then I'm going to look at your impound fees. I'm going to look at the bills that you have from a person that you got to repossess the car. Okay. And then Miss Cortini gets to keep the puppies and the dog. Do you understand?
I appreciate
First sign it, then I'll hear you.
Can I say one last thing?
Can I give her a hug?
Sign it.
I could hug you right now. If you were right here, I would give you a hug right now.
Can I say one thing, though?
I seriously...
I would like for her to dismiss the protective order because I...
Oh, no, I don't deal with protective orders. Listen to me. I don't deal with protective orders. That's a different court. Do you understand? Don't waste my time.
Okay.
Are you going to... Great.
She doesn't have the dogs.
We'll be back here in 5 minutes. Great.
Pardons are excused. This will be recalled.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Was there any money exchanged between you and the friend for that car?
He wasn't willing to pay me money until I put the repairs that the car needed.
There was money. There was $6,000. She sold the car to someone for $6,000.
I would like to see proof of that.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sean DeMarco has accused his former dog sitter, Kaylee Cortini, of taking a car without permission, filing harassment.
Order. Judge, this is a recall of case 291 in the matter of DeMarco versus Cortini. I remind parties you're still under oath.
All right, Mr. DeMarco and Miss Cortini, I have your signed agreement, which I will read into the record when we're finished with your claim, sir, which I will hear now with regard to the expenses in getting your car back from Miss Cortini, okay? Would you tell me on what date you had your car retrieved?
The Los Angeles Police Department recovered the vehicle from another party that she had sold it to shortly after stealing it from me. They had recovered it on...
Okay, Ms. Cortini, just for my own information, madam, and it's very easy to figure out and it's very easy to find out, did you sell the car
They picked it up from my friend's house. Your Honor, they picked it up from my friend's house.
Okay. Was there any money exchanged between you and the friend for that car?
He wasn't willing to pay me money until I put the repairs that the car needed.
So the answer is no?
Not yet, no.
Okay. How much did it cost you, sir, to retrieve the car?
There was money. There was $6,000. She sold the car to someone for $6,000. I have the police report number. There's also
don't give me a number. Just give me proof that she sold the car to a third person for $6,000.
Okay, I have the police report number from the LAPD.
Sir, do you have a police report? Not a number.
They would not give it to me because I was not the victim.
The answer is no. I don't look up police reports. That's your responsibility. So now let's get back to my question.
Okay.
How much did it cost you to retrieve the car?
So I have an impound fee of $287.
$287?
Yes, and
May
I have
see
the
it,
impound
please?
fee.
May I see it, please?
And then I had a car rental check fees of $841.
Car rental check fee for what?
2 car rentals for $879 because I was without a vehicle, so I had to rent a car.
Next.
And lift fees of $288.59.
What's lift fees? What is
because I had no car, so
What's next?
It's just the transportation, and then there was some damages done to my car, and there was a missing radar, and that's it.
Just a second. A missing what?
A missing radar.
What's a radar?
It's a radar that you put inside your car. It's like a electronic device.
You mean so that you can speed?
No, it's like, kind of. I mean, it's to monitor your speed.
Okay, what's next?
Judge Judy continues.
File a restraining order against me. That's why I rented a rent-a-car.
I don't care.
How else am I going to get around?
I don't care.
I don't understand why you're so upset with me.
Don't say anything else that's going to irritate me, Mr. DeMarco.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sean DeMarco has accused his former dog sitter, Kaylee Cortini, of taking a car without permission, filing a false restraining order, and harassment.
What's next?
It's just a $1,500 repair bill because when the car was picked up, whoever she sold it to, there was like small dents and stuff the LAPD had reported.
Don't tell me what the LAPD reported if you don't have a report.
I have that. I have the report and...
Fine. Let me see it, please.
And also the repairs that I did after I picked it up.
Your Honor, I know you don't like interrupting, but it's imperative that you see this before you read that.
Before I read it?
I have a lot of respect for you, and I really need you to read this.
Here's the radar.
I don't need the radar. I'm not entertaining the radar.
Oh, okay.
I just said that. Aren't you picking up my clues?
Yeah.
What is this?
Him saying that this is all a game to him. This whole entire thing.
Not a game. It's not. Okay. Fine. $287 to retrieve the car. Now, Mr. DeMarco, I want you to understand very carefully, sir, that what I didn't say to you was I was going to entertain anything other than cost of you getting the car back and the impound fees. So far, what you've given me is $287. This $1,500 bill that you presented me with shows what apparently is dings and dents on a car. I don't know what was there before. I don't know what was done. But I do know this, that when they pick up a car and they take it to impound and it's towed, usually a car suffers some sort of damage. So for that, sir, I'm going to give you $250, even though I didn't say I would. Do you understand? Fine. Don't say anything else that's going to irritate me, Mr. DeMarco. Right now, I'm making you a gift of $250. That's $537. Now, did you have any other expense that you haven't told me about in getting the car back from the defendant?
Well, I would like you to know that it's imperative that she did file a restraining order against me. I had a hard time getting a police report, so I was without a car.
The answer is
in a rental car.
No. $537.
That's why I rented a rent-a-car, though.
I don't care.
Well, how else am I going to get around?
I don't care.
I don't understand why you're so upset with me.
$537. Now, I'm going to read into the record the agreement that you both have signed. We'll have it available.
Can I ask something? Am I allowed, like, I mean, I'm literally losing my dog for $500.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, in the matter of Sean DeMarco versus Kaylee Cortini, Sean DeMarco agrees to withdraw his claim for money owed for the costs incurred from retrieving a car taken without permission and damages, plus punitive damages for filing a false restraining order and harassment. Sean DeMarco agrees to allow the arbitrator to decide the claim for impound fees and the cost of getting the car back. In the matter of Kaylee Cortini versus Sean DeMarco, docket number 1HCHSC02549, which is the decision of the Honorable Douglas. Kelly Cortini agrees to withdraw her claim from money owed for toll charges, car registration, and punitive damages for harassment. Dated November 8th, the parties have agreed and stipulate as follows in this signed agreement. Sean DeMarco agrees to relinquish any claim to the golden retriever and the 4 golden doodle puppies now in Kelly Cortini's possession. Kelly Cortini agrees to relinquish any claim to the $4,502 for expenses incurred for the dogs plus costs. It is both signed this 27th day of November 2018. That is so ordered. We're done. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Probably after the 5th time he showed up banging on my door. Maybe about the 7th time he drove past my house screaming at me.
I don't think it was very fair.
I had an emergency protective order against him. I had to change the locks.
And I don't think it was very fair.
I had to take several measures.
And I'm done.
He's crazy. He's mentally ill. He's crazy.
Your cats are annoying him.
I'm aware of it.
Well, then you have to stop it.
But is her neighbor even more frustrating?
Your Honor.
Does it sound like you're losing?
I have no idea.
This fly swatter knows that you're not losing. You're not the only neighbor.
I have several testimonies from other neighbors.
Oh, my God.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jeffrey Nolene is suing his neighbor, Ann Bossert, for property damage, prevention costs, and pain and suffering due to her 6 cats infiltrating his property.
Order. All rise. It's case number 277 on the count in the matter of Nolene versus Bossert. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Mr. Nolene, how long have you and the defendant been neighbors?
Since roughly February 2017.
How long have you been living in your house?
Since July 2011.
So you just moved in?
Yes.
Your cats are annoying him.
I'm aware of it.
Well, then you have to stop it. If you're aware that your cats are annoying your neighbor because they come on their property, then you have to do something to stop it.
I've been trying to.
Well,
I've
that's
been
not a- that's
using
not-
different devices.
What? I know that you've been trying to. You say you've been trying to, but it evidently hasn't been working. How many cats do you have?
6.
Your Honor.
What?
First, to use these scarecrow devices. They basically are a motion.
Listen to me. Does it sound as if you're losing? I haven't even started yet. And I said to her, your cats are annoying your neighbor. You have to stop it.
In 2017, she did try.
And then what happened in 2018?
Nothing. She did nothing.
Do her cats come on your property?
Consistently, every day, and they use my property for a litter box routinely.
Okay. Let's start with this. I've read your answer, and I've read the fact that you built professional litter boxes outside for your cats and inside for your cats. You've hooped them around so that they hopefully will stay in your yard. I read that you did all of those things. It's not enough. If your cats are going on to your neighbor's property and using it occasionally as a place for their droppings, that's untenable. So what you have to do is keep your cats in your house. If you want to have 6 cats, have 6 cats in your house.
In that case, we need to repair, and I offered that. Repair our fence that is communal because it's falling apart, and I would add cat fencing.
Does it sound like you're losing?
I have no idea.
This fly swatter knows that you're not losing. You have to keep your cats in your house. A communal fence has nothing to do with in your house.
Your Honor, if I may.
You can't.
All right.
Sit. You have to keep your cats in your house.
I bought 3 different devices for them not to cross over to his part.
You're not listening to me. I don't care if you build the wall. Cats climb walls. That's what cats do. They climb trees, they climb walls, they climb trellises, and it's fine as long as they're not bothering your neighbors. Your cats are bothering your neighbors, so if you want to have cats, keep them inside. Otherwise, something is going to happen to your cats. I'm telling you, somebody, not this man, but somebody is going to become so frustrated that your cats are leaving their droppings, whatever they are, droppings, birds, squirrels, in their garden, on their lawn furniture or something, that your beloved cats are going to disappear. I'm telling you. Yours.
My cats are rescue cats.
I don't care whether they're rescues, Persians, Himalayans, rag dolls. I don't care what they are. They're your cats. He doesn't like them.
Your Honor, may I speak?
I like cats. My neighbor may be allergic to cats. Their child may be... Does it... You're being stupid like the fly swatter.
I don't hate cats. I'm not against cats.
I don't care whether you hate them or not. You're not the only neighbor.
I have several testimonies from other neighbors.
Oh, my God. There is absolutely nothing that you can say to me, or you can say to me, that makes a difference. If your property is annoying your neighbor because your property gets onto your neighbor's property, despite what you perceive to be your best efforts to contain your cats, it's not your best efforts. Your best efforts would be keep your doors closed, your windows closed, and make them indoor cats. That's the answer.
I want to know if it's truly my cats, because the neighbor across feeds 2 cats outside, and then others just below me. The other day, I saw cats that were not mine at all.
Keep your cats in the house. Then you'll know where your cats are all the time. Your neighbor will worry about their... Listen, you are so annoying that you have to keep your cats on your property. And if you can't, you have to get rid of them or keep them in the house. Period.
Your Honor, that's your opinion. That is
No. That's not my opinion. That's the law. If you have a disruptive child, 6 disruptive children, and you're in control of them, and they're annoying your neighbors, that's your responsibility. You're responsible for all the damage that they do. You're responsible for any inconvenience they cause. Your cats are your children. So you have to keep your children, because they're your property, controlled, under your control. Cats are no different from dogs. You have to keep dogs under your control. when they're in your neighbor's garden, they're not in your control. That's not my opinion. That's the law.
But there is a difference between...
Don't talk to me from sitting down. Don't talk to me from standing up. There's no difference. I don't care if you're a cat person. I was a cat person for many years, loved my cats until I developed an allergy. If one of my neighbors had cats and her cat was coming and sitting on my lawn furniture, not doing any damage, and every time I went out on my lawn furniture, my throat closed because I developed that kind of an allergy to property under your control. Now it's time for you to talk.
All right, ma'am.
But I'm going to ask you questions, and I'm going to keep it tight. I want you to tell me how much money you have spent in an attempt to keep the defendant's cats off your property. Don't give me an give me a figure and supporting documents, and I'm going to award you that money.
I want to submit these documents. These are journals of each day that I cleaned up. I started these journals in October of 17 after several months of the problem.
I'd like to see them, please.
Sure. Those several months between June 2017 and October 2017, I averaged out at 5 minutes each time I had to go out and clean them a day. And
you also had to clean up after you when you drop all your gutters full of raccoon droppings on my land.
Just a second. Listen to me. I'm dismissing your counterclaim. Okay. I've told you what I think. I think that you have a neighbor that you've been disturbing for well over a year, maybe more than one, with your affinity for your cats. Not everybody loves your cats. Maybe she loves your cats. He doesn't love your cats. And I don't know if your neighbors love your cats. So you have to clean up your for not cleaning up your act. Now, he's maybe a little extreme and nutty about keeping a journal about how he's had to clean up after your mess. It's your mess. He doesn't have to clean up after your mess.
It is not my mess 100%. I'm sure there are other cats. I see them. Why would it be only me? The whole street feed cats outside.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Just a second. Yeah. They're not here. You're here, and you have 6 cats. First of all, I, at one point, have 6 cats, so I'm prepared to tell you that anybody who has 6 cats is crazy.
Well, if you're in rescue, you end up with a lot of cats.
Your Honor, I would like to submit a picture of the raccoon scat that was on her property. I took this picture in October. It sat there for 2 weeks. On October 27th, the defendant accosted me. She was hostile, yelling at me from her property while I watered my garden. I tried to calm her down.
Are you not listening?
I just wanted to address her false statement that I threw anything on her property.
I told her I'm dismissing her counterclaim.
Thank you.
So why do you have to waste my time? It's almost lunchtime.
I agree.
I told you, and I'm awarding you $2,500 to make the point. Do you understand? Get rid of your cats or keep them in your house.
I also wanted to...
Goodbye.
Party's ours.
Thank you.
I've won this case, which I'm happy with.
I would like to be able to talk to him.
She's very stubborn about her cats.
I'm very glad it's over.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Perkins versus Robinson. Step forward.
LaShawn Perkins is suing her former friend, Raymond Robinson, for the value of a diamond-encrusted medallion, plus pain and suffering.
Miss Perkins, you had a medallion.
Yes, ma'am.
That you got that had some sentimental value to it. At some point, the medallion had to be fixed, and you gave it to Mr. Robinson, who was a friend of yours?
Yes.
You gave it to him, and he said he could have it fixed for you. He didn't return it. Mr. Robinson said that you wouldn't pay him the $200 that he spent to have it fixed, so he pawned it, and he doesn't have it. That's right?
No.
What did you do with the medallion?
I went to go and get it appraised to see if I can get it fixed.
Did you pawn it?
Yes, I did.
Well, then I didn't say anything wrong.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want to know why you got rid of her medallion.
When she gave me the medallion, I lost it.
You lost
it? Yes, I found it. I'm sorry, my bad. I found it.
Double talk.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
LaShawn Perkins says former friend Raymond Robinson owes for a diamond-encrusted medallion he stole from her.
Now, she gave it to you to have fixed. You had it fixed. You wanted money to have it fixed. She didn't give it to you, and you said...
No.
Well, you just said in your answer, Mr. Robinson, let me read your answer to you.
Okay.
She never picked up the medallion or paid for the work, so I finally pawned it so I could get paid. The pawn shop gave me $200 for the so-called diamond-encrusted medallion. That's your answer. That's what you swore to. You want to look at it again?
Can I explain myself?
No. What did you do with it? You said you pawned it.
Okay.
I'd like to see where you bought it from and how much you paid for it. Somebody made out a bill dated 4 days ago?
The juryman that made the pendant in 06 when my son got killed, he don't have the receipt from 06, so he written it on there. He said that's what he would make the same medallion again for me.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you how much you paid for it.
Back
you didn't
then,
pay $3,000 for it.
No, not back then.
I know you didn't pay $3,000. Paid for it.
Back then, I paid $2,500 for it.
Show me.
I don't have the receipt
Well, I'm
for
sorry.
it. That's the person that made it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a...
Okay.
Because I don't believe that. Okay. What had to be done to have this thing fixed?
The fact of the matter is, I'm responsible for the medallion. We came to that agreement. I had no problem with paying to get her or making payments. When she tried to extort me for $5,000 because she kept calling me while I was at work,
Where is the medallion?
The medallion is pawned. It's pawned. I couldn't get it back because I didn't have an ID. Somebody pawned it, and I couldn't get the receipt.
Who pawned it?
Somebody that I met on the street in front of the pawn shop. And the reason why I pawned it in the first place because this lady started threatening me and threatening my family, and I have proof here that she did that.
I don't care. I want to know why you got rid of her medallion.
I got rid of it because this lady started threatening me. When she gave me the medallion, I lost it.
You lost it?
I lost it.
And then you found it again?
No. When I found it, yes. I found it. I'm sorry, my bad. I found it.
Double talk.
When I found it.
Put your hand down.
When I found it, I called her back to ask her if she wanted the medallion back. This is after she started threatening. This is after she kept calling me with a jeweler saying that she wanted a new medallion and she wanted to get appraised and she wanted $5,000. I said, hey, I'm getting paid. I can make payments. She didn't want the payments. She said, I want you to buy me a new medallion.
I don't care what she did to you.
Okay.
I don't care if she got in touch with your wife. You're giving me a whole lot of double talk that I don't believe. You had it, you lost it, you found it, you pawned it.
I had
Do
it.
you understand? I want to know you took this medallion from her.
I did not take it.
Yes, you did.
She
You took
gave
it from
it to
her
me.
to be fixed.
Yes.
I didn't say you stole it, sir.
She said I
Maybe you used it.
robbed
Maybe
her.
you. No, she never said that.
That's
in
what
here.
she did. That's what
No.
these posts is about. Saying that.
Good. I'm glad she said that you robbed it because actually what you did was you took it and you wouldn't return it to her, so you stole it from her.
No, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
That's not what I did.
Yes, you did.
After
If
somebody
you pawned
threatened
it,
you?
if you
After
pawned,
somebody threatened you? Yes, I pawned it. She threatened my life. Yes, I did. I was upset I was pawned, just like she was upset when she made all those posts and threatening my family and my wife and my kids. Now, I admitted that I owed her the medallion.
There's something big time wrong with you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
You lived there. You ate the steak. If you didn't like it, move. If you were unhappy there, move. You're a big girl. If I didn't like where I was living, I would move.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
LaShawn Perkins says former friend Raymond Robinson owes for a diamond-encrusted...
You took the medallion from her with the understanding that you were going to have it fixed. Then either you sold it, pawned it, gave it away, did something else over a period of time. She got frustrated with you because you were blowing her off and not telling her when you were going to get it back.
That's not true.
Well,
We
then she started threatening you because she wasn't getting the medallion back.
No,
then
she
what
started
you
threatening because she wanted more
close your
money.
mouth and listen. Then what you did, instead of taking responsibility, you say, I found it, but because she was threatening me, I decided to sell it, which
No.
you did.
No.
That's what you just said
That's
to me.
not
I
what I did.
decided to pawn it because she was threatening me.
No, it's
That's
a
what you
gap.
just said. You
It's
want
a
me to
gap
play
in
back
that
the
story.
tape?
It's a gap in that story. If you just give me a second to explain, with all due respect, I was working, like I said. She was calling me at my job. I was going to make payments towards her. Once I lost it and she started threatening me, I'm not going to pay her.
I don't care what you're saying, sir.
That's cool.
You were going to make payments for what?
Because I lost the medallion when I found it, I pawned it because she started threatening me. Once I got threats and posts on Facebook, I'm not doing that.
Judgment for the plaintiff, the amount of $2,500. You're an idiot.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She said so many lies and so many stuff that didn't get a chance to be explained.
I am so happy this is finally done and over with.
But it's all good. Love stands.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Truex versus Kennedy. Step forward.
Mindy Truex is suing her former landlord, Murtis Kennedy, for the return of rent due to improper living conditions and the return of her security deposit.
Ms. Truex, you lived on the defendant's property, according to what I read in your complaint, for about 6 months.
Yes.
Your lawsuit is requesting the return of your rent and your security. You're not getting your rent back.
Okay.
You lived there. You ate the steak. If you didn't like it, move. If you were unhappy there, move. You're a big girl. If I didn't like where I was living, I would move.
May I explain something to you?
You can explain whatever you like.
Okay.
You're not getting any money.
I moved into this residence, promised a stove.
I don't care. Understand this. You saw the residence before you moved in. You moved in. You knew exactly what kind of residence it was. It wasn't as if you were coming from Czechoslovakia and coming here sight unseen and you were doing a swap for an apartment. You went and saw it and you took it and you lived there for 6 months, which means you have to pay rent someplace.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Did you give them security deposit?
Yes, I did.
How much?
$450.
Did you pay your rent each month that you were there?
Yes, I did.
At the beginning of every month, is
Yes,
that correct?
I did.
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay, and she gave you $450 security.
She
Did
passed it along, yes.
Okay. And did you return her security?
No, I did not.
Then the ball is in your court to explain why.
She signed an agreement that said, you know, by law, she gives me a proper notice.
Forget notice. She's going to tell me that you didn't have a legal property.
Okay.
That's what she's going to tell me. She's going to tell me you didn't have a legal property, therefore she didn't have to give you notice. Was your property a legal property?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So then you're going to have to show me damage to the property if you kept her security. Show me damage to the property.
No, she didn't do any damage, Your Honor.
Then she gets her security deposit back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $450. We're done.
That's it, so
perfect.
Thank you, Judge.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I think Judge Judy is awesome.
I respect Judge Judy's decision.
I hope she can move on from this, have her security deposit.
Zone, unit number, address, everything.
Were you taken into custody by the police?
Yes, I was assaulted, stabbed.
A pointed confrontation with his ex's new man.
Her boyfriend is coming out from the hallway. He faces me, I face him. She's still hitting me, stabbed me in my eye.
Sustaining multiple stab wounds to the face and head. Who do you think stabbed him?
I have no idea.
You think he fell into a knife several times in his face?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Brooke Anderson is suing Manuel Castro for an assault, cyber harassment, and a false CPS report.
Order. All rise. It's case number 371 on the calendar in the matter of Anderson versus Castro.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Miss Anderson, each of you have a complaint against the other for an assault, some vandalism. From what I read, you met on Facebook online a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And the relationship, whatever it was, didn't turn into assaulted you. Give me the date that you allege that assault happened.
The 1st of January.
Of what year?
2018.
Did you report this assault to the police?
Yes.
Was there an investigation?
There was an investigation. It was open and closed.
So there
Because
is...
it wasn't true, that's why.
I don't want to hear from you. Okay? Now you understand.
Yep.
Yes is the answer. The incident happened on January 1st of 2018. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
When did you report it to the police?
That right when it happened.
Were you ever contacted by the police, Mr. Castro, with regard to an allegation that you had assaulted the plaintiff?
I was there for that incident. I got arrested that night.
So you were arrested on January 1st on her complaint?
I called the police. Which will come out later, you know, why.
You called the police on January 1st.
This is because I was assaulted by her and her ex-boyfriend or her boyfriend.
Were you taken into custody by the police?
Yes.
Where were you taken into custody?
Indio Police. I was there for 3 days.
No. On what street were you taken into custody?
Monroe Street.
Who lives there?
Miss Anderson.
When you were taken into custody by the police, were you transported to a hospital?
Yes, I was, which I got medical bills.
Just a second.
I was assaulted, you know, stabbed.
Couldn't do it my way.
Okay.
You hospital.
Yes.
Now, Miss Anderson, I read your complaint. Your complaint doesn't allege that you were assaulted by him on January 1st. You say that there was an incident that occurred in November when he slashed your tires.
Yes.
Now, what I'd like you to do is, was there ever any money involved?
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Who gave who money?
I've given her plenty of money, and I have proof.
Just a second. The answer is, I gave her money.
Yes, I have.
How much?
Just a little under $1,000.
And what did you give her money for?
And she was late on the rent, or she was short on her rent, and she needed money. I bought her a battery for her car just to give her money, you know?
Okay.
Because of the damages that he did.
I didn't ask you anything.
I'm sorry.
On the evening of January 1st, you weren't seeing each other at the time.
We were. That's why I went over there. She called me, and at first I didn't want to go
She said,
there.
actually, you say she texted you.
Yeah, you can text and call.
Do you have the text?
Yes, I do.
I'd like
to
see.
Well, no, I don't have that conversation, you know, but I have other conversations where...
Just a second.
Okay.
So, you don't have that text of January 1st?
No, I don't know what happened to it.
So you say she texted you and invited you to come to her house?
Yes, she did.
Did she tell you why?
It was purely New Year's Day, so, you know, of course.
On January 1st, were you at home?
Yes.
Who were you at home with?
Myself.
Nobody else was there?
No.
That's a lie.
Did you?
Her ex-boyfriend I have text right here. They assaulted me, and he was giving me props for not saying nothing to the police.
My ex-boyfriend.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Which assaulted me, and you assaulted me,
Mr. Castro.
Too. Yeah.
You're not helping yourself.
Okay.
I know you keep saying okay, but I'm telling you, you're not helping yourself. I'll get to what you have.
Okay.
In my fashion. I don't permit talking to each other.
All right.
I know you say okay, but I want you to do it.
Okay.
So you were home by yourself?
Yes.
Did Mr. Castro come to your home?
Yes.
Do you live in a private home or an apartment?
An apartment.
Do you have to be buzzed in, or can you just walk in?
It's gated, so it has a code on the door. He didn't come inside the gate.
So at some point you had to go outside?
Yeah, we were going to meet outside.
Just a second. Okay, so you had a pre-arrangement to meet with him?
Yes.
Follow me carefully.
Okay, yes.
Just answer my questions. You had a pre-arrangement to meet with him?
Yes.
Your pre-arrangement was made by phone or text message?
A little bit of both.
Okay. Do you have any of those? The answer is yes or no?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. So there must have been a specific time because you weren't going to stand outside out him.
I think it was about 2 a.m.
2 o'clock in the morning?
Yes. He was bringing over money from the damages he already did to my car. And he had said that he was bringing his little friend, which meant he was bringing a gun with him.
Don't tell me what it meant.
Okay.
Because I don't believe that. I don't believe that if you say you're meeting him 2 o'clock in the morning outside of your gate that he says he's...
Exactly.
That he said to you, I'm coming over with my little friend, which means a gun, and you went outside 2 o'clock in the morning. That would make you a moron. Are you a moron?
I told him that, that not to come over, that just forget about it. I'll have somebody come pick up the money.
But you found your way outside, Miss Anderson.
Because I didn't have money to fix my car. He had slashed...
No, just a second. That's not my question to you. What you're telling me and what you want me to buy is that he said to you, I'm coming over to give you money for the damage I did to your car at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm coming over bringing a gun. And I said, well, you'd have to be a moron if you went outside of your gate in a gated community where you needed a code, where he couldn't get in, and you went outside the gate to meet him, which is what you told me. Then you told me, I said, just forget it. I'll send somebody to get it.
Yes.
But you found yourself outside of the gate at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I want to know how that happened.
Because he insisted on coming over.
He insisted on coming over with his gun. And you went outside alone to meet him.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, yes.
Doesn't
This
make
man has
sense.
done so much harassment to me.
Miss Anderson,
It's ridiculous.
Listen to me.
My hand.
Listen to me. Doesn't make sense to me. Okay, it may make sense to me when I go further with this story, but right now it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
You know you're annoying me. You're so annoying you may lose.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you
sorry.
keep saying I'm sorry, and I keep telling you you're so annoying you may lose. So now you get outside, and you're outside the gate, and he's there. I want you to tell me what you want me to believe.
I don't know what his intentions were. He tried grabbing me. When I had met him, he had got out of his vehicle.
How did he try to grab you?
Just like walked up and was like this, and then grabbed me towards him, and I just kind of pushed him away. And he was still like holding me on tight, and so I just kept
holding you around.
Yes.
Yes.
And there were some people that I came by, two men, and saw this, heard me or whatever, saw this going on, and got him off of me.
Then what did you do? Now the two men got him off you, so I assume you went inside your gate.
Yes.
Just a second. You went. That's the next thing that you did.
I ran upstairs and called 911.
You went upstairs. Do you have that 911 call?
No, I don't.
Do you have the report?
Yes, I do.
Okay. From the first?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want them?
I would. I would like to see the report from the first.
Do you want all of them or just the
No,
first?
I want to see the report from the first. This is the first report that you called in at 3:27 in the morning.
Yes.
A report of stalking. That's what you called in.
No,
that's what it says here. Now, at what time, sir, were you arrested that night?
It was around 3 o'clock in the morning.
Where were you arrested?
Right there on Monroe Street. When I was fixing my tire because somebody slashed me.
You were arrested on Monroe Street.
Yes.
Near your car.
Yes.
Miss Anderson, do you have any medical reports for me to look at?
Yes.
I would like to look at it.
Also, like...
No, I don't...
My hand.
I'm not looking at your hand. I want you to show me a medical report on January 1st, 2018.
Oh, I didn't agree to go to the hospital.
Just a second. That's all I'm interested in.
Okay.
Okay. When was the next call that you made to the police? On January 1st, if there was another one. Police.
Yes.
And this call to the police says stalking, not stabbing, not assault, stalking.
I told them...
Things make sense, things don't make sense. If I were stabbed, which is what you said you were, in the hand, when I called the police, I would say I was just stabbed in the hand. I wouldn't say someone's stalking me.
Exactly.
But I did not know that.
Don't want to hear you.
I didn't know I was stabbed, though.
Well, if you don't know you was...
The cops, like, pretty much told me that. Because he had stab wounds to him, too.
Okay. You know, I'm not believing you. Right from going outside, I'm coming over with my friend with my gun, and you going outside of a gated place where you needed a code to get in, and we're waiting for him 2 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't make sense to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You, an intelligent woman trying to protect your daughter, you think the better course, instead of going to the district attorney and saying, he assaulted me, you think the better course is to go on the Judge Judy television program.
They did nothing.
I'm just asking you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brooke Anderson says Manuel Castro stabbed her in the hand, harassed her via the internet, and filed a suit for assault, vandalism, and slander.
Okay, now, you say that Miss Anderson called you over to her house. Did she meet you outside?
Yes, she did.
What was the first thing she said to you, if she said anything, when you saw her?
She said nothing at all. That's what worried me. I was like, why ain't she talking to me? You know, she asked me to come over here, and that's when I felt like something was going on, you know. And then she turns around and starts just wailing on me.
How was she wailing on? What do you mean?
Hitting me in my face and everything, you know, punching me. So I end up trying to go back to my truck. She's blocking me from opening my truck. I didn't even touch her or anything. I'm trying to push her away, trying to get away. At that time, I turn around and look, and her boyfriend is coming out from the hallway where she propped the door open to let him out easily.
What happened when you saw him? You saw him coming out.
He ended up coming around. He faces me, I face him. She's still hitting me, stabbed me in my eye. I duck down, I'm swinging back, and the hoodie that I was wearing covers my head. And at that time, I was just thinking in my mind, I need to get out of here, get out, because I'm really, you know, if I stay right here. So I end up like getting into the alleyway. He stabs me again, which you can see right here on my head. After that, I turn around, I look at him, I'm facing him. He's a little ways away from me. I see her end up just walking away. I call 911, saying I've just been assaulted. I don't know who it was.
Do you have the 911
No,
call?
I don't.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to get out of there. So I get back to my truck and I drive across the street and I start changing my tire.
Just a second.
He just said he didn't know who that was.
Where did they go that you were now right on Monroe Street changing your tire?
They went back into the apartment.
Okay. Then you called the police.
Yes.
Did you wait there on Monroe Street?
I'm changing my tires and the police came.
Okay.
You know?
When the police came, did they take you into custody?
No, not right away.
What happened next?
They asked me questions, what was going on. I didn't want to say nothing. And for some reason, he knew that I was lying. He knew that I didn't want to say nothing. So it finally came out that it was, you know, I told him it was Brooke and her boyfriend. And from there, they went to her house and talked to her. And then she comes up with, I tried to kidnap her, and if I try to kidnap you...
No, you didn't try to kidnap her.
I know I didn't.
No,
I know I didn't.
I didn't get that from her.
I know I didn't.
I didn't get that from her. Okay. But at some point, you told the police when they came to talk to you...
That he had tried to grab me.
Forget grab you. That he stabbed you.
Yeah.
No. I never once told the police. I didn't know how this had happened. They figured it out.
You filed a restraining order against him.
Yes.
Did you have a trial on the restraining order?
No, I didn't. The temper.
I was never even served.
What is it that you don't understand about keeping your mouth shut? You filed a restraining order against him. Did you go to trial on the restraining order?
No.
Why not?
Because when I had the restraining order, he put up this a profile on this adult dating site.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me you didn't go back to court?
No.
So it was dismissed?
Yes.
That's the answer. You're going to give me an excuse for in a second.
No, not an excuse. The reason.
Just a second.
It's protecting my daughter.
There's no reason that you don't go back to court if you feel as if somebody's threatening you, especially if what you say is that
I was feared for my daughter. That's why I didn't go back there.
That's a reason to get a restraining order.
But it had my daughter's name on there.
That's a reason to get a restraining order.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Who do you think stabbed him?
I have no
Do you
idea.
think he stabbed himself?
I didn't know that he was getting stabbed until they told me.
You think he fell into a knife several times in his face?
Who knows? Who knows with him? I have no idea.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brooke Anderson is accusing Manuel Castro of stabbing her in the hand. False CPS report.
You, an intelligent woman trying to protect your daughter, you think the better course, instead of going to the district attorney and saying, he's stalking me, this is what he did. He put my daughter's photograph up on a dating site, and he assaulted me. You think the better course is to go on the Judge Judy television program?
They did nothing. They did nothing.
No, I'm just asking
And this
you.
is my last resort.
This is not a recourse.
No, I know.
Everything that you say to me is true. There's nothing I can do to him.
I know.
So.
But the damages is what, I mean, I realize that obviously that he's not going to get any charges for anything that he's done.
Well, that's not true, madam. If someone puts up on a website and advertises a child for dating or for sex, police are going to take that seriously if you can prove it. Now I would like to see what proof you have of
I've got
him.
a lot.
No, not a lot. I would like to see what proof you have that he put up advertising either you or you and your daughter on an adult dating site.
He says right here.
May I see it, please? Would you like me to take down that profile, is what you said to her. And she says to you, only one. What profile did you put up of her?
I didn't put no profile up.
He put my address, my apartment number, my phone number.
I don't know any of that. That's what you say. So far, you've given me no proof of that. Now, can I see your medical on January 1st? I'm only interested in January 1st, 2018.
You see it says...
I don't want you to say anything. Okay. The doctor, who at the time of his admission noted for medical clearance after sustaining multiple stab wounds to the face and head and his bleeding was controlled. Who do you think stabbed him?
I
Who
have
do you
no
think stabbed him?
idea.
You think he stabbed himself?
I didn't know that he
You
was
think
even
fell
stabbed
into,
until
you
they
think he
told me.
You think he fell into a knife several times in his face?
Who knows? Who knows with him? I have no idea.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, listen to me. I'm a judge.
Yes.
I don't know either one of you. He's irritating. You're not as irritating. That doesn't mean you're telling the truth, because at my age, I've lived through a whole lot of things, and it's just common sense. If you're calling to report that something happened to the police, you tell them the worst thing happened to you. If you were stabbed, which you say you were in your complaint, then that's the first thing that you write here. And no medical record.
I didn't go because it didn't hurt me. 3 days
All right,
later, when the adrenaline
let's move forward.
Came off.
Let's move forward.
Oh, man.
It's going to be so easy for you. Actually both deserve each other.
Yeah, right.
When was
This
the
man
last...
has been doing this to me for 1.5 years. I've feared for my life.
I would strongly urge you, if you fear for your life, to take a copy of this video and go to the local police department and say to them, I fear for my life from this man.
I did.
Your regress is not $5,000 from the defendant, because if you're truly afraid of him, that will only make him angrier. Now, let's get to you.
Yeah.
I certainly know that a year has passed since this incident when you didn't sue her.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And so I also know that the only reason that you filed a countersuit is because she's suing you. Because otherwise you wouldn't
Yeah,
have
because
filed
she's already gotten money from me. I've given her plenty of money, and now she's going to lie again to get money out of me?
Stay far away from her.
No,
Just trouble.
we were done.
Do you work, Mr. Castro?
Yes, I do.
He
Same
still
place
has his profile up. There's still men coming over to my house. I can't even go outside with my daughter and play.
We're done.
All you are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I should have just took it into my own hands in the first place.
She did nothing but lie.
Nobody's helping me. I fear for my life, and I did call the police and say that I fear for my life and my daughter's life.
Just making up lies. And you can see right there that she had no proof of nothing.
This is ridiculous.
She leaves me alone, and everything's just done and over with.
Were you taken into custody by the police?
Yes, I was assaulted, stabbed.
A pointed confrontation with his ex's new man.
Her boyfriend is coming out from the hallway. He faces me, I face him. She's still hitting me, stabbed me in my eye.
Sustaining multiple stab wounds to the face and head. Who do you think stabbed him?
I have no idea.
You think he fell into a knife several times in his face?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Brooke Anderson is suing Manuel Castro for an assault, cyber harassment, and a false CPS report.
Order. All rise. It's case number 371 on the calendar in the matter of Anderson versus Castro.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Miss Anderson, each of you have a complaint against the other for an assault, some vandalism. From what I read, you met on Facebook online a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And the relationship, whatever it was, didn't turn into much of a relationship. You are alleging that Mr. Castro assaulted you. Give me the date that you allege that assault happened.
The 1st of January.
Of what year?
2018.
Did you report this assault to the police?
Yes.
Was there an investigation?
There was an investigation. It was open and closed.
So there is...
Because it wasn't true, that's why.
I don't want to hear from you. Okay, now you understand.
Yep.
Yes is the answer. The incident happened on January 1st of 2018. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
When did you report it to the police?
Right when it happened.
Were you ever contacted by the police, Mr. Castro, with regard to an allegation that you had assaulted the plaintiff?
I was there for that incident. I got arrested that night.
So you were arrested on January 1st on her complaint?
I called the police, which will come out later, why.
You called the police on January 1st?
This is because I was assaulted by her and her ex-boyfriend or her boyfriend.
Were you taken into custody?
Indio Police. I was there for 3 days.
No. On what street were you taken into custody?
Monroe Street.
Who lives there?
Miss Anderson.
When you were taken into custody by the police, were you transported to a hospital?
Yes, I was, which I got medical bills.
Just a second.
I was assaulted, stabbed.
Couldn't do it my way.
Okay.
You were arrested on her street, but you were taken to a hospital.
Yes.
Now, Miss Anderson, I read your complaint. Your complaint doesn't allege that you were assaulted by him on January 1st. You say that there was an incident that occurred in November when he slashed your tires.
Yes.
Now, what I'd like you to do is, was there ever any money involved?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
Who gave who money?
I've given her plenty of money, and I have proof.
Just a second. The answer is, I gave her money.
Yes, I have.
How much?
Just a little under $1,000.
And what did you give her money for?
And she was late on the rent, or she was short on her rent, and she needed money. I bought her a battery for her car just to give her money,
Okay.
Because of the damages that he did.
I didn't ask you anything.
I'm sorry.
On the evening of January 1st, you weren't seeing each other at the time.
We were. That's why I went over there. She called me, and at first I didn't. Yeah, you can text and call.
Do you have the text?
Yes, I do.
I'd like
well,
to
no,
see.
actually, I don't have that conversation, but I have other conversations where.
Just a second.
Okay.
So you don't have that text of January 1st?
No, I don't know what happened to it.
So you say she texted you and invited you to come to her house?
Yes, she did.
Did she tell you why?
It was purely sexual. She told me to come over there and have sex, and it was New Year's Day, so, of course.
On January 1st, were you at home?
Yes.
Who were you at home with?
Myself.
Nobody else was there?
No.
That's a lie.
Did you?
Her ex-boyfriend I have text right here. They assaulted me, and he was giving me props for not saying nothing to the police.
My ex-boyfriend.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Which assaulted me, and you assaulted me,
Mr. Castro.
Too. Yeah.
You're not helping yourself.
Okay.
I know you keep saying okay, but I'm telling you, you're not helping yourself. I'll get to what you have.
Okay.
In my fashion. I don't permit talking to each other.
All right.
I know you say okay, but I want you to do it.
Okay.
So you were home by yourself?
Yes.
Did Mr. Castro come to your home?
Yes.
Do you live in a private home or an apartment?
An apartment.
Do you have to be buzzed in, or can you just walk in?
It's gated, so it has a code on the door. He didn't come inside the gate.
So at some point you had to go outside of pre-arrangements to meet with him?
Yes.
Follow me carefully.
Okay, yes.
Just answer my questions. You had a pre-arrangement to meet with him?
Yes.
Your pre-arrangement was made by phone or text message?
A little bit of both.
Okay. Do you have any of those? The answer is yes or no?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. So there must have been a specific time because you weren't going to stand outside of your gate. What time were you supposed to meet him?
I think it was about 2 a.m.
2 o'clock in the morning?
Yes. He was bringing over money from the damages he already did to my car. And he had said that he was bringing his little friend, which meant he was bringing a gun with him.
Don't tell me what it meant.
Okay.
Because I don't believe that. I don't believe that if you say you're meeting him 2 o'clock in the morning outside of your gate that he says he's...
Exactly.
That he said to you, I'm coming over with my little friend, which means a gun, and you went outside 2 o'clock in the morning. That would make you a moron. Are you a moron?
I told him that, that not to come over, that just forget about it. I'll have somebody come pick up the money.
But you found your way outside, Miss Anderson.
Because I didn't have money to fix my car. He had slashed.
No, just a second. That's not my question to you. What you're telling me and what you want me to buy is that he said to you, I'm coming over to give you money for the damage I did to your car at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, you'd have to be a moron if you went outside of your gate in a gated community where you needed a code where he couldn't get in, and you went outside the gate to meet him, which is what you told me. Then you told me, I said, just forget it. I'll send somebody to get it.
Yes.
But you found yourself outside of the gate at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I want to know how that happened.
Because he insisted on coming over, so I said, okay, I needed that money.
He insisted on coming over with his gun, and you went outside alone to meet him.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, yes.
Doesn't
this
make
man has done so much harassment to me.
Miss Anderson,
it's ridiculous.
Just listen to me.
My hand.
Listen to me. Doesn't make sense to me. Okay, it may make sense to me when I go further with this story, but right now it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
You know you're annoying me. You're so annoying you may lose.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
keep saying I'm sorry, and I keep telling you you're so annoying you may lose. So now you get outside, and you're outside the gate, and he's there. I want you to tell me what you want me to believe.
I don't know what his intentions were. He tried grabbing me. When I had met him, he had got out of his vehicle.
How did he try to grab you?
Just like walked up and was like this, and then grabbed me towards him, and he was still like holding me on tight, and so I just kept
Holding
on.
you around?
Yes.
Yes, and?
And there were some people that I came by, two men, and saw this, heard me or whatever, saw this going on, and got him off of me.
Then what did you do? Now, the two men got him off you, so I assume you went inside your gate.
Yes,
Just a second. You went back inside of your gate, and I want you to tell me what's the next thing that you did.
I ran upstairs and called 911.
You went upstairs. Do you have that 911 call?
No, I don't.
Do you have the report?
Yes, I do.
Okay. From the first?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want them?
I would. I would like to see the report from the first.
Do you want all of them or just the first?
No, I want to see the report from the first. This is the first report that you called in at 3:27 in the morning.
Yes.
A report of stalking. That's what you called in.
No,
that's what it says here. Now, at what time, sir, were you arrested that night?
It was around 3 o'clock in the morning.
Where were you arrested?
Right there on Monroe Street when I was fixing my tire because somebody slashed me.
You were arrested on Monroe Street?
Yes.
Near your car?
Yes.
Miss, for me to look at.
Yes.
I would like to look at it.
Also, like...
No, I don't...
My hand.
I'm not looking at your hand. I want you to show me a medical report on January 1st, 2018.
Oh, I didn't agree to go to the hospital.
Just a second. That's all I'm interested in.
Okay.
Okay. When was the next call that you made to the police? On January 1st, if there was another one.
I didn't make a second call.
Okay, but you did make this call to the police.
Yes.
And this call to the police says stalking, not stabbing, not assault, stalking.
I told them...
Things make sense, things don't make sense. If I were stabbed, which is what you said you were, in the hand, when I called the police, I would say I was just stabbed in the hand. I wouldn't say someone's stalking me.
Exactly.
But I did not know that.
Don't want to hear you.
I didn't know I was stabbed, though.
Well, if you don't know you was...
The cops, like, pretty much told me that. Because he had stab wounds to him, too.
Okay. You know, I'm not believing you. Right from going outside, I'm coming over with my friend with my gun, and you going outside of a gated place where you needed a code to get in, and we're waiting for him 2 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't make sense to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You, an intelligent woman, trying to attorney and saying he assaulted me, you think the better course is to go on the Judge Judy television program?
They did nothing.
I'm just asking you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brooke Anderson says Manuel Castro stabbed her in the hand, harassed her via the internet, and filed a false CPS report. Manuel is countersuing for assault, vandalism, and slander.
Okay, now, you say that Miss Anderson called you over to her house. Did she meet you outside?
Yes, she did.
What was the first thing she said to you, if she said anything, when you saw her?
She said nothing at all. That's what worried me. I was like, why ain't she talking to me? You know, she asked me to come over here, and that's when I felt like something was going on, you know. And then she turns around and starts just wailing on me.
How was she wailing on? What do you mean?
Hitting me in my face and everything, you know, punching me. So I ended up trying to go back to my truck. She's blocking me from opening my truck. I didn't even touch her or anything. I'm trying to push her away, trying to get away. At that time, I turned around and looked, and her boyfriend is coming out from the hallway where she propped the door open to let him out easily.
What happened when you saw him? You saw him coming out.
He ended up coming around. He grabbed me in my eye. I ducked down. I'm swinging back, and the hoodie that I was wearing covers my head. And at that time, I was just thinking in my mind, I need to get out of here, get out, because I'm really, you know, if I stay right here. So I end up getting into the alleyway. He stabs me again, which you can see right here on my head. After that, I turn around, I look at him, I'm facing him. He's a little ways away from me. I see her in the background slashing my tires, and he ends up just walking away. I call 911, saying I've just been assaulted. I don't know who it was.
Do you have the 911
No,
call?
I don't.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to get out of there. So I get back to my truck, and I drive across the street, and I start changing my tire.
Just a second.
He just said he didn't know who that was.
Where did they go that you were now right on Monroe Street changing your tire?
They went back into the apartment.
Okay. Then you called the police.
Yes.
Did you wait there on Monroe Street?
I'm changing my tires, and the police came.
Okay.
You know?
When the police came, did they take you into custody?
No, not right away.
What happened next?
They asked me questions, what was going on. I didn't want to say nothing. And for some reason, he knew that I was lying. He knew that I didn't want to say nothing. So it finally came out that it was, you know, I told him it was Brooke and her boyfriend. And from there, they went to her house and talked to her. And then she comes up and you.
No, you didn't try to kidnap her.
I know I didn't.
No,
I know I didn't.
I didn't get that from her.
I know I didn't.
I didn't get that from her. Okay. But at some point, you told the police when they came to talk to you
that he had tried to grab
that,
me.
forget grab you, that he stabbed you.
Yeah.
No, I never once told the police. I didn't know how this had happened. They figured it out as him getting stabbed, that I was stabbed also.
Now, you filed a restraining order against him.
Yes.
Did you have a trial on the restraining order?
No, I didn't. The temper.
I was never even served.
What is it that you don't understand about keeping your mouth shut? You filed a restraining order against him. Did you go to trial on the restraining order?
No.
Why not?
Because when I had the restraining order, he put up this a profile on this adult dating site.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me you didn't go back to court?
No.
So it was dismissed?
Yes.
That's the answer. You're going to give me an excuse for in a second.
No, not an excuse. The reason.
Just a second.
It's protecting my daughter.
There's no reason that you don't go back to court if you feel as if somebody's threatening you, especially if what you say is that
I was feared for my daughter. That's why I didn't go back there.
That's a reason to get a restraining order.
But it had my daughter's name on there.
That's a reason to get a restraining order. Stabbed him.
I have no
You
idea.
think he stabbed himself?
I didn't know that he was
think
even
fell
stabbed
into,
until
you
they
think he,
told me.
think he fell into a knife several times in his face?
Who knows? Who knows with him? I have no idea.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brooke Anderson is accusing Manuel Castro of stabbing her in the hand, harassing her over the internet, and filing a false CPS report.
You, an intelligent woman trying to protect your daughter, you think the better course, instead of going to the district attorney and saying, he's stalking me, this is what he did. He put my daughter's photograph up on a dating site, and he assaulted me. You think the better course is to go on the Judge Judy television program?
They did nothing. They did nothing.
No, I'm just asking you.
And this is my last resort.
This is not a recourse.
No, I know.
Everything that you say to me is true. There's nothing I can do to him.
I know.
So.
But the damages is what, I mean, I realize that obviously that he's not going to get any charges for anything that he's done.
Well, that's not true, madam. If someone puts up on a website and advertises a child for dating or for sex, police are going to take that seriously if you can prove it. Now I would like to see what proof you have of
I've got
him.
a lot.
No, not a lot. I would love advertising either you or you and your daughter on an adult dating site.
He says right here.
May I see it, please? Would you like me to take down that profile, is what you said to her. And she says to you, what one? You know which one, the only one. What profile did you put up of her?
I didn't put no profile up.
He put my address, my apartment number, my phone number.
I don't know any of that. That's what you say. So far, you've given me no proof of that. Now, can I see your medical on January 1st? I'm only interested in January 1st, 2018.
You see it? It says,
I don't want you to say anything. Okay. The doctor, who at the time of his admission, noted for medical clearance after sustaining multiple stab wounds to the face and head, and his bleeding was controlled. Who do you think stabbed him?
I have
Who do you
no
think
idea.
You think he stabbed himself?
I didn't know that he
You
was
think
even
fell
stabbed
into-
until
you
they
think
told me.
You think he fell into a knife several times in his face?
Who knows? Who knows with him? I have no idea.
Judge Judy continues.
A victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, listen to me. I'm a judge.
Yes.
I don't know either one of you. He's irritating. You're not as irritating. That doesn't mean you're telling the truth, because at my age, I've lived through a whole lot of things, and it's just common sense. If you're calling to report that something happened to you, something bad happened to you, and you're calling in the middle of the night to the police, you tell them the worst thing happened to you. If you were stabbed, which you say you were in your complaint, then that's the first thing that you write here. And no medical record.
I didn't go because it didn't hurt me. 3 days later, when the adrenaline
let's move forward.
Came off.
Let's move forward.
Oh, man.
It's going to be so easy for you. Actually both deserve each other.
Yeah, right.
When was the
man
last...
has been doing this to me for a year and a half. I've feared for my life.
I would strongly urge you, if you fear for your life, to take a copy of this video and go to the local police department and say to them, I fear for my life from this man.
I did.
Your regress is not $5,000 from the defendant, because if you're truly afraid of him, that will only make him angrier. Now, let's get to you.
Yeah.
I certainly know that a year has passed since this incident when you didn't sue her.
Yeah, I wasn't...
You filed a countersuit is because she's suing you. Because otherwise you wouldn't
Yeah,
have filed
because she's already gotten money from me. I've given her plenty of money, and now she's going to lie again to get money out of me?
Stay far away from her.
No,
Just trouble.
we were done.
Do you work, Mr. Castro?
Yes, I do.
He
Same
still
place
has his profile up. There's still men coming over to my house. I can't even go outside with my daughter and play.
Thank you very much. Go to the police. We'll give you a copy of the tape. We're done.
All you are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I should have just took it into my own hands in the first place.
She did nothing but lie.
Nobody's helping me. I fear for my life, and I did call the police and say that I fear for my life and my daughter's life.
Just making up lies. And you can see right there that she had no proof of nothing.
This is ridiculous.
She leaves me alone, and everything's just done and over with.
If you can't afford the children you have, what'd you have another child for?
A father shortchanges his obligations.
Is Mr. Valenzuela current in his child support?
No.
How much delinquent is he?
I believe it's approximately $44,000.
And mom can't pry loose a penny.
They can't garnish because he works under the table.
I would be furious with him.
I am.
For a redhead, you're not showing the fury, but I would be furious.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Stacy Fox is suing her daughter's father, Joseph Valenzuela, for his share of an annual pass to Disneyland and the cost of car parts.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 358 on the calendar in the matter of Fox versus Valenzuela. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Fox, you and Mr. Valenzuela have a child together who appears to be about 16 or 17 years old. Is that right?
She's almost 17.
And you haven't been together with the defendant since, according to your complaint, the child was 3. So you've been apart for a long time. You have remarried.
Yes.
And you have other children.
Yes, 3 more.
How old are they?
One just turned 1. I have one that's 7 and one that just turned 11.
And Miss Fox, is the defendant currently under a child support order?
Yes.
How much?
$410 per month.
And is Mr. Valenzuela current in his child support?
No.
How much delinquent is he?
I believe it's approximately $44,000.
Explain that to me, sir. Explain that to me.
Oh, okay. I fell behind. I actually did some time. Fell behind there.
When?
2007.
For how long?
I did a few months.
Don't look
2
at
months.
her.
2 months, 3 months.
2 months, 3
Yeah.
months. It does not 44,000 make.
No, absolutely not. And then when the child support was based, it was based off a certain income. And then I went jobless for a while, and then I went with another job to where they were taking so much of my check. While I was with her, I was only making $200 every 2 weeks. And so it slowly,
So what did you have another child for?
We already had a child at the time.
No, what did you have another child for? Who's 1? You have one who's 7, one is 11, you have one who's 1. So I said to you, if you can't afford the children you have, what'd you have another child for?
All my children are taken care of.
No, this one is not.
She is very well taken care of.
No, she's not by you. Not if you're $44,000 in arrears and child support, Mr. Valenzuela.
Okay.
If you know you have certain responsibilities, Then you say, this is what I earn, this is what I can earn. I have 3 children, one who's 16 years old. I have 2 children, 2 nice children, one who's 7 and 11. You don't take on another responsibility of another child if you already have 3 and you're not taking care of one of them. You. And $44,000 in arrears is unacceptable. If Ms. Fox said to me it was $600 in arrears, that I can understand. But $44,000 in arrears on a $400 a month child support order, and you deserve to be dressed down for it.
No, absolutely.
Okay, just letting you know. No. The way I feel, I don't know what's going to happen in today's case, but that's the way I feel.
Absolutely.
And that's the way you should feel. And I guarantee you it's the same way your wife would feel if you ditched her and stopped supporting her children and went and met somebody else and had 3 more children with somebody else. I guarantee you she would feel the same way. Fair statement?
Yes.
Okay, good. So all the women are in agreement. Your claim is that the defendant made certain promises to you. One was to share the cost of a car that you were getting for your daughter for her 16th birthday, or car parts. You were buying the car. And the other is for half of a Disney ticket.
An annual pass.
An annual pass. And that was for her 16th birthday.
Right.
What did her father give her for her 16th birthday?
Nothing. I mean, he never paid for his half. That was our agreement.
No. Did he give her any money?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I don't, unless he did it without my knowledge.
So, as far as you know, he gave her no gift for her 16th birthday.
Right.
Is that right, Mr. Valenzuela?
That is incorrect, actually.
Okay. Did you give your daughter?
Yes. What actually we ended up doing was, the reason for the Disneyland pass discussion was me and my wife considered buying our whole family Disneyland passes. So when she came to me and said, hey, I was thinking about doing a Disneyland pass, I told her we're considering
Disney passes, annual Disney passes for you, your wife, and 3 children, and you owe $44,000 in back child support? Are you kidding me? Go out and get chalk and build a potsy board on your street and play potsy. Where do you come off spending $1,000 for Disney passes for your whole family when you owe $44,000 to this child? I don't understand it. I don't understand how men can be so irresponsible. And so, because you're a man, because I have had some irresponsible women here too, but if I had a gauge, it's mostly on the guy's side. I want to hear a number or a thing that you gave your daughter for her birthday, for her sweet 16.
$200 cash. It was originally a check that we actually took back and gave it to her in cash, so she didn't have to worry about a check.
So you gave her $200 in cash that her mother doesn't know about. Now you're going to explain. Ms. Fox says that she agreed to pay for half of a Disney pass. You were going to get Disney passes for your whole family, and she agreed to pay for half for your daughter so that perhaps there would be occasions when you could go together, because I assume you go together. So explain that to me.
So what happened was we decided that we could not afford Disneyland passes. So that's when we decided we'll just stick with the gift that we gave her, and then when the time is right, we would do it again. And then I was approached that I should have to pay for half of the birthday gift that she bought her, because I originally said that we considered buying Disneyland passes as a package for us, so that if we had the opportunity, we could take her.
How much is a Disneyland pass for a year? I don't know.
$619 for the pass. And I purchased one for her to split with him, and then I also purchased one for myself, so she could go with them, and also her and I could
Okay,
go.
so you have one with her.
I have one as well. Right?
Good for you. All right, let's get over the Disney pass. Let's get on to the things that you agreed to purchase for the car.
Mm-hmm. So what happened was we got together and bought her a car. She came to me and said, they need new headlights, and the headliner needs to be fixed.
You got together and bought her a car?
Yes.
For how much?
It's like $2,000.
What are you looking at her for?
I don't remember the price.
Well, if you paid for half, then you would remember the price. Did you pay for half?
No, I did not.
Well, then you didn't get together to buy her a car. Her mother was going to buy her a car.
Correct.
You agreed to pay for a headlight.
And more, yeah.
Did you do it?
I did. I actually have a receipt here for the headlights I purchased.
Great. And did they use them on the car?
No, they did not, because she got upset with me after that, and they decided to do it on their own and get it fixed.
Okay. So.
That's not the case. $100. I let him know and asked him if he could help. He did give me $300 towards the car, and I was fine with that.
So he gave you $300 for the car.
He gave me $300 towards the car, right?
He gave you $300 for the car. I mean, I don't know why you were asking him for any money. He owes you $44,000. Why in the world would you ask him for any money? Say, give me $300. I'll take it off the $44,000 you owe me.
I understand. I think his intentions are probably good most of the time, and so I want to allow him to do things for his daughter when he offers. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt that he'll follow through and do it.
It's just nice that they see each other and that everybody is supportive of that. So we gave you $300 for the car. All right, you get a gold star for that, Mr. Valenzuela. And you gave your daughter $200 in cash. You'll ask her about that when you get home.
Okay.
Is your daughter driving the car now that you bought for her?
She does, yes.
Okay. You're in the wrong court.
Okay.
Is the $410 a month taken out of his check?
They can't garnish because he works under the table.
Really? What kind of work does he do?
Last I knew, he was working for some sort of delivery company.
Take out your wallet.
Okay.
Social Security card.
Don't have that on me. That's actually filed away with all our Social Security cards.
Give me your Social Security number.
Okay. 36.
What's the name of your employer? Is your wife working?
Yes.
Is your wife working?
Yes.
Who does she work for?
She works for the county of Kern.
You own a car?
Yes.
Is your car leased or do you own it?
Financed.
When did you purchase the car?
Be 2 years in June.
From whom?
Did I buy it?
From whom?
Oh, from the Dodge dealership.
Where?
In Bakersfield.
Get a lawyer. Now you have some information. You know where he bought the car. He had to fill out forms because if they're going to give him a loan, he had to have where he was working. He had to file tax returns. I'm sure you had his Social Security number. In the event that you didn't, you now have his Social Security number. I would make his life miserable, if he's working under the table and not paying child support. Miserable. That's what I would do.
No, I got you. Yeah, no, it's one side of the story, so that's perfect.
No, it's only, I'm anxious to hear your side of the story,
it's
sir.
just you keep saying that I don't pay child support, but we're actually going through a mediation right now where I showed them 2 years of proof of payments that I paid her that she never documented one time.
Just a second.
Which actually ended up causing more interest for me.
Could you tell me in the last 6 months how much child support you paid?
I've been paying between $300 and $400 a month.
For the last 6 months?
Yes.
Between 3 and 4?
Yes.
Not 410?
I tried to do at least $100 every week. There is weeks
I don't care whether you try.
Right.
Trying is not important.
So I would say between 3 and 4.
Mediator didn't ask you if you've been paying at least $100 a week and your wife's not making that kind of money from the county and you have 3 children. Where are you getting the money from?
Because I work as a DJ on the weekends right now and I make $300 to $400 a weekend. So when you put that together...
In cash?
Yes.
Is that what you told the mediator?
Yes. And she has it documented also.
Just a second. That you work only on the weekends?
Yes.
Right. Who takes care of your 1-year-old? Your wife works for the county.
Right.
Who takes care of the 1-year-old?
Right now, I do.
Just a second. So is what you're telling me that you stay home to take care of the 1-year-old during the week while your wife works?
Correct.
So your choice is to stay home and be a house parent to your current children rather than working to pay for your primary responsibility.
That's not true.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When was the last time you had a full-time job, Monday through Friday, not on weekends? Somebody who has 4 children has to work on the weekends as a DJ.
A full, real-time job.
A real job, like we have a real job.
And later today...
I had nowhere to go. I literally had to pack my clothes.
You breached the agreement, sir. The agreement was that there was to be no drugs in the house at all.
She was the one that brought most of the drugs.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stacy Fox says her daughter's father, Joseph Valenzuela, owes $44,000 in back child support. She is suing for his share of their daughter's Sweet 16 gifts.
Okay. Well, I want to know, when was the last time you had a full-time job, Monday through Friday, not on weekends? Somebody who has 4 children has to work on the weekends as a DJ, but has a job Monday through Friday. When was the last time you had a Monday through Friday job?
A full, real-time job.
A real job, like we have a real job.
A year? I was a welder for 7 years in the oil fields.
So you were a welder until what year?
Until 2016.
So you shouldn't have built up any of those arrears.
No, because prior to that, I was out of a job for a while. Prior to that,
finished with this. Listen, Miss Fox, he doesn't owe you any money other than $44,000. You're in the wrong court. I have to tell you, I congratulate you both for being civil with regard to this. I would be furious with him.
I am.
Okay, well, and for a redhead, you're not showing the fury, but I would be furious with him. But he doesn't owe you any money on here. He owes you a fortune otherwise, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I just want him to pay what he says he's going to and help support his daughter.
I just looked like the bad guy.
He's been doing it for you.
Your dad just don't get with a redhead. because they'll bring you down.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Clark versus Rieves. Step forward.
Deborah Clark is suing her former tenant and friend, Keith Rieves, for rent, an unpaid loan to buy a car, and property damage.
Miss Clark, the defendant was somebody that you knew for a long time. And there came a time when he needed a place to live. You had a basement apartment. You were having some surgery.
I fell out of a tree off a ladder and shattered my leg.
So you needed some help.
Yes.
So it seemed like a good idea. He moved in as a tenant.
Yes.
And helper for you for a while. And the agreement was once you got better that he was supposed to pay rent. How much was the rent, sir?
It was supposed to be $100 a week, which had ended up at the end to be $150 a week.
Okay. And during that time, it was agreed by both of you, because you have an addiction problem in your history, and as well as you, sir, that there would be no drugs or alcohol in the house. During your tenancy there, when she was better, you wanted to drive an Uber. And according to Miss Clark, she gave you some money. And the money was a loan. And as collateral for the loan, the collateral was a sleep. Where is the bed?
It's not in my house.
Was it ever in your house?
It was in my house. His boyfriend took it out on the day that he was moving.
And the speakers that he's talking about?
I didn't see them leave the house, but they're not in the house.
How much money did she give you when you wanted to buy this car so that you could drive for Uber?
Total of $1,800.
And then there was a breach of the agreement because you acknowledged, sir, that for a short period of time you had relapsed on drugs.
Correct.
So she told you to leave.
Yes.
And you left. Did you ever pay her the $1,800?
The agreement was we made an agreement with each other that she was to keep the sleep number bed and the speakers that were worth $1,500.
Miss Clark says that your boyfriend came and took the bed the day after you moved out. She does not have it in her home.
I don't know. I didn't take anything. I took my clothes. I packed them in my car. That's all I took. I got in the car and I left.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Medical marijuana smoked in that house every day. Every day, which I really...
You mean on crack?
Yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Deborah Clark says she evicted her former friend, Keith Rieves, when he relapsed with drugs. She is suing for rent, a loan, and property damage. Keith is countersuing for U-Haul and storage fees.
Now, were you paying her rent? Because that's also a part of her claim.
I was paying her rent. I can't exactly say what I was paying her. I really do feel, Your Honor, that for everything I did around the house, like, that was a lot of work. I quit my full-time job and started driving for Uber and Lyft so I could spend more time at the house to take care of her. So that's when we became the agreement between the two of us that she would loan me the money to buy the car. With the understanding that when she asked me for collateral, like, what do I have for collateral? You could have my sleep number bed and my stage speakers.
Okay, but she doesn't have the bed anymore. So you owe her the $1,800. Who are you living with now, Mr. Rieves?
I live with my ex-sister-in-law in Florida.
Are you doing okay?
I have about 4 months clean today. I'm trying hard.
What?
Your Honor, Mr. Rieves was doing great. And then all of a sudden I started to know it, but he had relapsed on crack cocaine. And he caused some damages in my house, and he didn't pay the rent, of which he owes me $1,405. And he says he did...
Let me ask you this question, Ms. Clark.
Sure.
You sound as if you're a compassionate lady.
Yes.
And there's no question he owes you for the loan, for the $1,800 for the loan. How long have you lived alone?
Probably 13 years between my divorce and the time he came to live with me.
And when did Mr. Rieves leave?
In September 2018.
Where 4 or 5 months later, is somebody living in the apartment?
No.
Because you're going to continue to live alone.
I think so.
So the reason that he was really there was a helpful reason for him to be there. You needed him. He needed a place to stay. And it was a good 3.5 years.
I understand the point that you are raising, but I wasn't down for the count for longer than a year.
It doesn't matter.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. It sounds to me as if it was a reasonable arrangement. I think he probably became more than just a basement tenant. I would just imagine that if the two of you were there and just good friends, that I would say so. I'm happy that you're 4 months sober. And it sounds to me like Ms. Clark is happy that you're 4 months sober also. You owe her $1,800. That's for the loan. Good luck. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,800.
What about the rent and damages to the house?
Judgment for the plaintiff
I
in the
have
amount
a picture that shows
that he damaged a clothesline. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,800.
And what about my counterclaim?
That's gone.
Why is that gone?
Really? You want from her storage charges and U-Haul charges to get your things?
Your Honor, I had nowhere to go. I literally had to pack my clothes.
You breached the agreement, sir. The agreement was that there was to be no drugs in the house
And she was the one that brought most of the drugs into the house. Medical marijuana smoked in that house every day. Every day, which I really feel that's what brought me back to relapsing.
You mean on crack?
Yes.
We're done. $1,800. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I wish him the best.
I wish things could have been different.
He was my friend. That love doesn't go away.